I'm on mute. Sorry about that. Guys, welcome to something new. Well, the day is still Tuesday, but we have reorganized the politics with Lapeef into chaos with chaotic. I'm your host, Chaotic Truth, and I'm so glad to be in the building. Guys, please get those likes up. Please share the video if you can. Please, guys, please, if you must, contribute to the channel. Hit the super chats. Hit the super chats, guys. Tell me how my mic is doing, by the way, guys. I'm so glad that you guys are in the building. Happy upcoming holidays. I won't see you guys until next week, which is after Christmas. But Merry Christmas to you all. Happy Hanukkah if you celebrate Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa if you celebrate Kwanzaa. Salute to you. But sending out happy holidays to you all. I'm also sending out positivity to you all. Positivity, guys, is key for, in my opinion, survival. Positivity is a frequency within the universe, just like a radio wave. When you pick up on that symbol, it does wonders for your holistic being, your mind, body, and soul. Guys, the link is dropped. You are free to call in. We're going to hang out today. I got about 3 hours because I'm going live on my own channel. But we're going to be talking about inner city public schools being the jungles that they are and how I want you all to leave them behind. I am a former educator. I am an individual that not only taught in the inner city ghetto schools, I also attended inner city schools. And I'm going to go in. Now, this is not, again, guys, I always say this. This isn't for, this isn't for you old people, you millennials, you Gen Xers, you, especially baby boomers. Yeah. This isn't for you. This is for younger people. Generally my messages are always for younger people. And no, my messages are not the gospel. A lot of times I'm generalizing. A lot of times these are just my own thoughts. But that's the beauty of content creation. You're free to tune in and tune out as soon as you get offended. Because today, I'm pretty sure a lot of you will be offended. So get your tissue out. Get your tampons out. Because I'm going to offend a lot of people. I went to public schools, blah, 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 blah. Public schools literally were like going to hell every day. And when I'm talking about teaching and going there. But before I get into the public school thing, guys, I want to send a big shout out to, let's see, JQ's in the building. What's up, JQ? JQ says, leave them behind, talking about leaving public schools behind. Salute to you, JQ. I'm so glad that you're in the building. Positivity is definitely coming your way, man. Thank you for supporting the Lapeef Network. Thank you for listening while you are at work. It means a lot to the channel. Thank you so much, man. We got Ozzy in the building. Ozzy, salute to you, man. Excuse me, guys. I just drank something. Ozzy, thank you so much for coming to the channel. Thank you so much for supporting the show. We definitely appreciate you. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Anton says, inner city public schools are a jungle. Whitey and women's fault. I'll get into that. But I don't necessarily blame white folks nor women for the failures of inner city public schools. But I'll get into that in a minute, though. But thank you so much, Anton. Guys, please bombard the chat with questions and concerns and comments, guys. So salute to you all. Let's see here. And you guys, you already know super chats get more priority. So please hit up the super chat and those will get priority. Let's see. We got Will in the building. Will says, education solely isn't the school's responsibility. Parents have capability in it as well. Positivity is definitely coming your way, Will. Hope all is well with you and yours, man. Jackie says, you're starting early with this. Yes, I am starting at 3 o'clock on the dot. Positivity is coming your way. Who else? I hope I didn't miss anybody. I think did I miss Seven Still? I don't. Oh, Seven Still said, "Let's go, CT." Positivity is definitely coming your way, Seven Still. Hope all is well with you and yours, man. Guys, I have dropped the link early. We're gonna do one-on-ones first. I may do a panel depending on how I feel. Normally panels get out of control, but I'll try today. But I will do one-on-ones, guys. If you call in, preferably, as you all know, at the Lapeef Network, we prefer you to be cammed up. You have a nice camera, nice lighting, be square centered like me. If you call in, please, guys, please, I understand some of you are driving and are on the road, or as in the Temptations movie, The Road. So please try to be at a location. Please try to be square centered. Please don't have the camera like you're in an earthquake. Shout out to, not shout out, but sending peace to the individuals that did suffer that earthquake today. I don't think anything, I didn't look into it, but if anybody can help me out with that, I don't think nobody was injured in that earthquake. But yeah, be square centered, guys. Let's see. Artie's in the building. Salute to you, Artie. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Gary, what's up? Gary, positivity is definitely coming your way too, Gary. Hope all is well with you and yours. JQ says the panel will definitely be crazy. RP Nomad, thank you so much for coming. Says he says, CT, I've been trying to get this message across to my family since 1990. I noticed this when I came to the U.S. coming from a private school system in Jamaica when I stepped into the PS or public school system in the United States. Yeah, it's terrible. It is absolutely terrible, guys. Believe it or not, I went to public schools as well as private schools, and I can tell you this, man. And I'm not trying to brag and boast and pedestalize myself. But guys, the experiences I had in public schools was absolutely horrific. Every single day. And I applaud and salute, and I gotta say this, I applaud and salute the white teachers that go into these jungles every day, because they don't have to be there. They don't have to deal with the mess and the chaos that ensues in these schools. Guys, when I was in junior high school, I went to an inner city junior high school, and it was hell every day. Guys, do you know what science beakers are? So science beakers are measurement glasses. Guys, the ignorant, dumb kids in my school, I would be in, we had biology class, and I don't want to say his name, but I saw him a few years ago. He's my old science teacher, Mr. Oh, I almost said his name, but it begins with the M, Mr. M. And he was African American. He was an intellect. He was a very, very smart man, black or white. And every single day in the 6th grade, he would try to get us to do science experiments, et cetera, et cetera. Guys, I would be the only one. Maybe it'll be another girl. Typically, it was always that one smart girl that's always in inner city classes. But it was me and another student, and we would be at our desk, and we would be ready to do the assignments. And in the classrooms, the kids would jump on desk. You already know that they would be fighting each other every second of the day, hooping and hollering. It would sound like, like when you watch National Geographic and when you hear the sound of the monkeys. I'm talking about New World monkeys, not apes, not chimpanzees or bonobos, but like monkeys. Monkeys are the primates with the tails. And it would sound like, oh, that's how it would sound, really. So, we will be trying to do our assignments. And I know a lot of you guys are gonna think that you weren't an angel, you weren't not. No, I really was, guys. So, we'll be trying to do our assignments, and I'll remember it. And we would look back at the class and say, hey guys, why don't we do the assignment that Mr. M is giving us? He doesn't have to be here. He could be at a private school. This is what I would use to tell the kids there. I would say, guys, he could easily be at a private school. He could easily be at a Jewish school. He could easily, man, fuck you, man. Why are you talking shit about us, man? They would my classmates would get mad at me because I was trying to tell them to do the work. Now imagine 25, 27. A lot of these classes had a max at about 32, but imagine about 25 kids just roasting each other the entire period, ranking on each other's shoes, talking about clothes. This would go on every single day, every day. And in Ohio, where I'm from, we had something back in the early 90s called the proficiency test. And you could take the proficiency test in the 7th grade so that you won't have to take it in high school to graduate. So me, of course, being the superior Black that I was, I studied, I definitely honed in on my math and science. I was like, Mom, Dad, you know what? I'm gonna ace this proficiency. I'm gonna pass the proficiency test to the point where I don't have to take it in high school. So in the 7th, I think it was the 6th or the 7th grade, me and this girl, we were the only ones in my school to pass the proficiency test. It must have been 150, 200 kids who took the proficiency test. And like the dummies that they were, they failed it. And I felt so bad. I felt so bad because the administration at this particular junior high school, they had, and what they called back in the day, they had an assembly. And at the assembly, they walked us out and put us on a pedestal. Like, look at what chaotic and this other, they call me chaotic, of course, but look at what they did. Look at what these 2 students did. They passed the proficiency test. Guys, those 200 kids plus kids that failed the proficiency test, those 200 kids were absolutely, and I gotta say this, they were animals. I gotta say this. I gotta say this because nobody's gonna say it but the chaotic truth. I remember being in classes in the 90s, especially in Mr. M's class. That was one of my favorite classes. The kids, they could recite all the lyrics to Biggie Smalls. They could recite all the lyrics to Tupac. They could recite all the lyrics to, who was out back then? Lil' Kim. But man, when it came to reading, a lot of those kids would be like, itsy, bitsy, bitsy, spider. Yeah, they couldn't even read basic words. And then I, being the person that I would say, hey guys, and instead of learning, now mind you, I know a lot of you all probably won't believe me when I tell you this. But when I was in junior high school, I would say, guys, rap is not that important, guys. Rap is really gutter music. Of course, I'm reciting what my parents were really saying. And the kids will say, man, F you, man. You always talking about black people, man. I'm like, yo, I'm not talking about black people. I am talking about competition. And the fact of the matter is that you dummies come to class and you break the science speakers, going back to the old science speaker thing. Listen, the kids, when we would be in Mr. M's class, My classmates would take the science beakers and they would just randomly throw it up in the air and break them. And then I would say, hey guys, why don't y'all stop? Do you think that the Jewish kids are throwing the science beakers in the class? Do you think that the Jewish kids are acting a fool and not doing the experiments, man? Fuck you, man. Why you all the time? I would try to get these, I would try to get my dumb classmates to do the assignments. I would try to help out. I was that student. Man, guys, listen. I know a lot of people think that I'm an Uncle Tom and I'm a coon, but I'm not. I have always had a sense of Black pride. I would say, God, so back in the day, there was a all-state assignment. It was called, it was like we had to build like a tetrahedron or something. And I remember trying to get my friend, now these are my friends that I do in the inner city, my friends to help me do this tetrahedron assignment. Man, why you doing that corny stuff, man? Why you corny, man? I'm about to go play Tekken or something. See, it was always playing video games. And imagine, so, right now, video games are, it's full scale, it's global. These kids can play games with anybody, anytime, any place. But back then, there was really no internet. But nevertheless, the video game playing was popular too. And instead of studying mathematics, instead of embracing the sciences, the kids would rather just play Tekken, or back then it was like Mortal Kombat or something like that. And here I go again, being the Black that I am. I would say, guys, instead of playing Tekken, why don't we hone in our math skills? Why don't we come together and try to compete with these white kids on this tetrahedron assignment? Man, why you always comparing us to whites, man? I'm like, I'm not comparing us. What I'm trying to tell you, ignorant jungle bunnies, is that everybody is competing except for you. See, you're not competing. You don't want to compete. You ain't trying to compete. And that's your problem. That's why you and I would black out, just like you. You think that I say this because I'm behind a camera? No. I used to say this openly. That even the white teachers that went to the schools at this particular junior high school, they would say, "Why are you so mean towards your Black people?" And I say, "I'm not mean towards Black people, Miss Chapowski, whatever these white people's names were." I say that I want my people to succeed. I want myself to succeed. Your white children don't go to this school. Your white children don't go live in this neighborhood. These kids can barely read. We're sixth graders, and some of these idiots can't even read Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss. I've been like this for 30 years, man. This is not new. This ain't new. People always say, man, you wouldn't say that in real life, man. No, you ain't doing nothing. I'll call the police on you just like that. I'll get to calling 9 as soon as you even look at me wrong. I get to calling 911. Because you don't run nothing. And that's how I was in junior high school. When I figured it out, I said, Negroes don't have no power. They don't have no power. And who the hell is afraid of a Negro? That's when I figured it out. That's when I started just saying stuff and daring somebody to put their hands on me. I'll call the police on you. I'll write up a report so quick. Who are you? And that's how I am now. That's how I am now. And I'll tell you this, man. For you young people who want to have children, I implore you, do not send your kids to these inner city schools. They are a recipe for disaster. For disaster. All you got to do, everything is public record. Just look at the state report cards for each district. Just look at the state report card for each school within the district. The top 10 schools, I bet you they're not inner city schools. The top 50 schools, I bet you are not inner city schools. The top, excuse me, the worst 10, the worst 20, the worst 50 will always be the inner city schools. It is a culture of stupidity. I've seen it, I've lived it, I've smelled it. Parents coming up to the school, man, why the F y'all giving homework? I've literally, as a student and as a teacher, I have heard scores of single moms, scores of them coming up to the school, yelling at the professor, the teachers. Why you giving my son homework? I can't do that. Well, ma'am, it's not for you to do. It's for your son. Who you talking to, B? See, there's no cooperation. There's no cooperation with the parent and the teachers. The teachers are so afraid of the parents sometimes that they just acquiesce to whatever the parent says. Listen, when I was in I went to a good high school, by the way, and it was actually a selected high school. You got to get selected to get in there, and it was a really good high school. But when I taught at the high school level, man, I would give homework. Parents would come up there and try to, they tried to, but they pop fly with me. And I'm like, yo, this is like basic arithmetic. This dude is 17 years old. You mean to tell me he can't do 21 divided by 7? He in the 12th grade. 12th grade. Man, we ain't got time to be doing no homework. And then when you as a teacher, especially a black man, when you say, hey, why don't you turn the TV off? Why don't you have them eating a great diet? Why don't you? You can't say that to these parents. Now they'll cuss you out. What the F you mean get rid of I ain't getting rid of my mother effing TV. I'm like, lady, what is the importance of owning a TV? What is the importance of having a TV? What is the importance of having the internet? A 10-year-old can't dictate terms with you. Listen, when I was a kid, you couldn't have any electric device in these schools. And the schools were bad back then. Now these kids got iPhones, iPads all in the school, and they ain't doing nothing but watching YouTube all day. They ain't doing nothing with it. It ain't like they're watching Bill Nye the Science Guy, or it ain't like they're watching Neil deGrasse Tyson. It ain't like they're watching Sylvester James Gates. It ain't like they're watching Michio Kaku. It ain't like they're watching videos on quantum physics, quantum mechanics. They're not. They're watching rap video. Listen, when I was teaching, going to any inner city school, you will see it. They're watching rap videos on the computer. And God forbid you try to say, hey, Johnny, why don't you turn the rap video off and do, man, I can do what I want to do, man. Leave me the fuck alone, man. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. If you are young, man, listen, a lot of millennials, a lot of Gen Xers, a lot of boomers, they're going to lie to you. They're going to lie to you. But see, chaotic truth, I'll never lie to you. I tell the truth, especially when it comes to black folk. Because I want us to be superior. I want us to be the dominant race. I tell the truth. You Negroes that go to these inner city schools right now, ask, or they have kids there, ask the principal, hey, principal such and such, what school do your kids go to? I bet you their kids don't go to no inner city schools. Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of these principals know the deal. They ain't sending their kids to no inner city schools. A lot of these principals send their kids right to private school, where the academic work is challenging, where the curriculum is challenging, where there's no horse playing generally, and where there's consequences and repercussions. I've seen it. A lot of these inner city schools don't even want to suspend the kids because every time you suspend the kid, the school loses money. Each day is a certain amount of money. And these kids don't like getting, and these schools don't like suspending these kids. They give the kid every excuse in the book. And you have a lot of old black men, and I can't stand these types of Negroes. They have set up all these stupid programs. Black men helping black boys, black men doing something, black men, and these organizations that really are how do I want to put this? These organizations that act as cleanup crews for degeneracy. So they know that a lot of these single moms or these women are having children outside of wedlock. They know that these women are having multiple babies outside of wedlock. They know that these boys don't have any fathers in the home. And instead of attacking the problem from the root, they just want to clean up. Okay, boys, just come in. We're going to mentor you, blah, blah, blah. And I can look good with my fraternity. I can look good because of my name's on it, yada, yada, yada. But then when a Negro like myself say, hey, why don't we attack this from the root, brothers? Man, you think you better than black people. No, I don't. You got to attack it from the root. You have to shame these people, the adults, so that they won't have these types of kids, so that you won't have to create these nonsensical programs. We need to move past these little gutter jungle schools. These schools are terrible, man. These schools are absolutely terrible. And if you are an intelligent person, a person with some sense, my God, I'm telling you, the last thing you want to do is have a child and send them to these ghetto jungle schools. And that's what they are. That's what they are, man. You know a school is ghetto when they can't have a football game at night. You know a school is ghetto when they don't have any other programs other than basketball and football. You know a school is ghetto when they have, security guards, auxiliary police officers, and they have metal detectors all through the school. That's a ghetto inner city school. Why would you want to send your kid to some school like that? And I know a lot of people are going to be like, man, he always is cooning. No, I'm not. Why are inner city schools at the lowest when it comes to performance? When it comes to academic performance? When it comes to graduation performance? Man, I'm telling you, man, sending your kids to these schools is, I'll tell you this, man. All you guys could talk about Columbine all you want, but these 2 or 3 incidents over the course of 40 years ain't compared to the debauchery that takes place in these inner city schools on a daily basis. When I was in public schools or in inner city schools, listen, some of my classmates were psychopaths, sociopaths. You could talk about Columbine all you want, but I bet you the majority of those kids in the 90s ain't in the penitentiary. But I bet you go back to your inner city, if you went to public schools, inner city public schools, I bet you a lot of your classmates are in the penitentiary. I'm telling you, these schools are criminal manufacturing facilities, and they are. Why would you want to send your kids around these types of kids? Listen, when I was in school, I'm telling you, in that one particular class I was in, because in junior high school, you change classes. You don't have the same people around you all day. And I'm telling you, some of these kids, man, I will say half of these kids, future robbers, future murderers, future drug dealers, future crack users. Oh yeah, 100%, 110%. the farthest thing I'm sorry, the last thing you want to do is send your kids around people like that. Hold on, who is this? Give me a second here. Did you go to public school, sir? Keep it real.
Yeah, I went to public school. How you doing, Chaotic?
I'm pretty good, sir. Just a quick reminder: no cursing, and happy holidays to you, sir. Do me a favor, real quick. Which day is your favorite day of Kwanzaa?
Oh, I don't celebrate no damn Kwanzaa.
Kind of figured that. Go ahead, tell me your experience about public schools.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. Chaotic, man. I love when you get on the Lapeef show, man. You just be speaking the truth, man. And
thank you.
I'm just glad to hear a voice.
Yeah.
That you know that. No, I mean the same thing that I say. You know, people say, "Oh, you crazy," or "Why you act like you hate your own people?" You know, that's the stuff that you hear. But no, Chaotic. Listen, I got two boys.
Yeah.
And I swear, I do not let them go to school with a lot of black kids.
No,
I don't. I don't. Like I told you, if black people move in my neighborhood, I'm leaving. I don't want to live near them. I mean, it's sad to say, but you're right, man. I don't want my kids going to school. You know, that's why I say they can keep them HBCUs and all that. I don't know. No, it's too many distractions. Too many distractions.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. What school are your kids in? Private school or are they in charter schools right now?
They in an all year round charter school.
Okay, good. Now in this charter school, what is the demographic there?
It's more. It's about 10% black kids, but it's mostly it's a mixture, you know. But it's not a lot of black kids.
Yeah, you know, the reason why I'm making this is that I say this, right? There are successful people that comes out of inner city public schools, but 90% of people who come out of private schools or some other sort of privatized schooling are successful. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's a whole lot of people that come out of public schools listen, most of the people in the penitentiary are from public schools. Most of the people who commit all types of crimes are from inner city public schools. And I don't know why people try to pretend that they don't. Listen, truth, I had a fraternity brother. He was older. And he had an inner city. It was charter, but it was still inner city, right? And this lion Negro, who was my fraternity brother, he talked a good game. You know, man, we got to help these black kids. We got to do this, that, and the other. Black. And then one of my colleagues asked him, how come your kid doesn't go to this school? Oh, he made every excuse in the book. He said, I want my son to have private experience because of blah, blah, blah. And we're like, yeah, because he even knows that this is an inferior product.
Right.
Yeah.
But like Chaotic, listen, I'm from Baltimore and I moved from there and you know I live in Arizona now, right? Now I seen, you know, coming up, I seen like the kids, the 7-8-year-olds, you know, they can sing rap songs, but they can't do 2+2.
No.
Yeah, they could do all that, and I told my wife, I said, listen, this how I want to raise my kids. This how it's going to be, because I didn't want, you know, it's hard to have influence in the house and then try to influence your kids when they go in these streets. So I didn't.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, truth, when I went to inner city schools, right, and just like when I taught there, and just like we all know, the culture at the inner city school is who has the best clothes, who has the best shoes.
It's a fashion show.
Yeah. It's who has the best shoes, who has the best. And mind you, a lot of these kids are dirt poor. Then, excuse me, then you ask them, you say, can you do this assignment? Can you do this? They give you back lip. They beg you, they give you back talk. They don't want to do the work. They could barely do the work. And then what happens is that they become 10th graders. And they're getting basic arithmetic worksheets by the liberal white teachers just to get the day moving along. So they're never being challenged. Go ahead, sir.
No, I mean, no, you're right about that, man. Because, like I said, I didn't want my boys to go through that. And like I said, man, I love our people, but I have a love-hate sometimes. Like, I don't want to live near them. You know, if too many blacks move on my street, I move. I sell my house and I move because I don't want to. We don't treat each other with respect.
Yeah.
And that's the number. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say this. You know, when I was again, this is at my fraternity brother's school. Now he's a lot older than me, and inner city school was not a good school at all. Still not a good school, and the school was supposedly to promote health, like eating health, and they never had any healthy dishes at all. So I said, hey guys, at a staff meeting, I said, hey guys, why don't we, as a staff, why don't we start eating healthy? Because now this is when I was a marathon runner. I said, why don't we start eating healthy? As a representation to the kids. Staff members, man, I ain't doing that. I gotta get my kids. I gotta get my papa. You know. So anyway, the students, they would come in every day with flaming hot Cheetos, soda, with Arizonas, and I would say, hey, to the staff, hey guys, why don't we ban the kids from coming in with these products? Oh, chaotic! You can't do that. The parents would be mad. Mm-hmm. And I basically said what's taking place here is this is the equivalent of the 50-year-old who's on the porch all day drinking all liquor and smoking a cigarette, but you know, that's the equivalent of eating flaming hot Cheetos in Arizona. Both are unhealthy, but one is going to gradually set these kids up for an adult life of drinking, smoking, doing other unhealthy tasks. Oh, you a conspiracy theorist, you this, you that, you this. And I said, I bet you, and this is what I said to them. I said, I bet you at these white schools, I bet you at the top 20 schools in the state, I bet you they have banned or they don't let those kids eat certain types of products. And just look at their academics, look at ours.
They have salad bars.
Yeah.
They have salad bars in these schools. But K.I., let me ask you something.
Go ahead, sir.
As people, right? You know, like we seen what our grandfathers did and our parents did, right? Can you say we the only people that digressed as time went on? Because it seemed like every other race they progress, we digress. Because we got some of the dumbest kids out here, some the dumbest music, and it's sad because I watched my grandfather work, I watched my grandparents, and they set a foundation. But then we go backwards as people because it's like, you can't tell them what to do and stuff like that. Like I want, like my oldest son, he want to be a veterinary doctor, right? And I'm gonna push him to that. People tell me to say, why do you want him to be a doctor? You making him be anything. Well, I said, well, why y'all don't say that to the Jewish people that came over here from Oyster Island that was carpenters and did all the hard work, and their kids are lawyers, doctors, and everything else. We can do the same thing, but it's just like we afraid of education. We don't take advantage of it, number one. And it's like if we see a doctor, why can't we can't have more of these things if people don't take the education seriously? we don't have a lot of black lawyers, a lot of black doctors, and it's not that they smarter than us. They just take advantage of the education. They just work hard.
Yeah, they do. And in fact, and you've hit the nail right on the head, sir. They do take advantage. These kids are growing. A lot of these kids are growing up certainly in dysfunctional households, and a lot of these kids are, going to these dysfunctional schools. If it were up to me, sir, I would ban rap. I would ban any electronic device in these schools. I would certainly kick out the bad apples. You have see truth. A lot of times in these inner city ghetto schools, these jungles, it's a lot of times most kids are bad, sir. But it's always one or two really bad kids that really are disruptive. And you have a lot of this advocating for the George Floyds and these, I call them the George Floyd students, the kids that are, it's funny that in a lot of these schools, you as a black teacher, and I've experienced this because it happened to me. If you show favoritism towards the smart kids, you get called into the office. Why are you showing favoritism towards the smart kids? What do you mean? Because they're smart. That's why.
Right.
That's why.
Now you see kids. They fight the teachers, and I mean it's just all types. I mean they be fighting the teachers and crap like that. And I'm like, yo, that's why I said chaotic. I love when you come on because you be punching them right in the mouth, and they don't want to hear it. Just like when you're on Lapeef and you tell them they need to get a mop and wash dishes. But no, you're speaking the truth because hold on, before you go, chaotic. Me moving out here and being around other cultures, the women are totally different. Like I always say, you see a black man with a black woman, he look like he about to go crazy. I see a black man with a white woman, he's skipping.
Yeah.
I never seen men so happy.
Well, yeah, hold on for 1 second. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I mean, again, that's why I say, it's time for, in my opinion, the best of us to leave the jungle. There's nothing wrong with that. Leaving the jungle is symbolic of evolving.
Right.
There was a time when our ancient ancestors were hunters and gatherers. That's all humanity, right?
Yep.
I couldn't imagine going to some Asian, white, or even black saying, hey, why don't we live like our ancient ancestors as hunters and gatherers? They'll laugh you out of the building. Like, what are you talking about? I like skyscrapers in my Mercedes, in my condo or my house. Nobody wants to live like your ancient. So why are we still living primitive when it comes to these schools? These schools function off of a primitive basis. You know? The fact is that in China, they don't cater to the dumb students. If you're acting a fool, hey, look, man, we ain't about to cater to you no more, man. Either you study and do the work, or that's that. See, that's what we have to do. See, a lot of these inner city public school jungles, see, they cater towards the Pookies and Tyrones and George Floyds. Mm-hmm. We gotta have an extensive meeting and blah blah blah. They waste up so many resources when they should.
We gotta give out book bags. We gave out 50 book bags, and I'd be like, for what? You getting out the kids that ain't going to school? It's chaotic, man. It's sad, but I like what you be saying because I'm a Republican too, my sir, and I love every time you come on, man, because like now that you out here and people hear what you say, and I just go back and say, listen, man, this is what I've been telling y'all for the longest. That the only way to get better is you got to get away from us.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Get away from us, and then you can have more influence on your kids and stuff like that because. Yeah. Man, I like I said, man, if the school my kids go to now, if I even see 60% of black kids coming out of school, hey, it's time to go. It's
Absolutely.
time to go.
Thank you
No
so
problem,
much,
brother.
bro. Yep.
All right.
Yep. Peace. Can I ask you a question, sir? Did you go to inner city schools growing up? Keep it real.
No.
Okay. Did you? Okay. Oh, so you didn't go at all. Okay. So you went to suburban or private schools.
Yeah, I was in the suburbs.
Okay. Do you have any children right now?
No.
Okay. If you had children, would you send them to inner city public schools?
No, not unless I'm living there. No, I mean,
Okay.
reason to do that.
Now, So, tell me your experiences, or are you an educator?
At one time, yes.
And you taught in inner city public schools?
Yeah, it was actually a daycare facility. Yeah, so
Okay.
it was.
And was that hell on
It was
earth?
all kind of kids.
Oh, okay. But was it still hell on earth? I mean, it's still in the inner city.
Not at all. And so the thing is not necessarily that kids are bad or that these, the youth is just bad. It's that they're ill-mannered or, poorly trained. It starts at home, and it takes a village to raise a kid. And if you, say, for instance, do put your child in, say, a daycare or early learning facility, it shows throughout that child's school history and whatever, sports or anything. If you have a good coach, right, that would show same thing. So it's not to say that they're bad kids. It's just that a lot of times what was praised was that toxicity, those things that would be deemed as what you call funny or whatever, but it would be disruptive as far as with the learning atmosphere. And if you have that being praised, with laughter, with attention, what ends up happening is that those kids grow up thinking that is the way to get attention, and that is how they receive, laughs, which they, view as something good. It was a quote, I think, no man ever wants to be evil. What happens is what they deem as good just ends up being something that others would deem as wrong.
Do you feel like, and thank you so much, do you feel, now earlier I said, I think that a lot of these, we got to help the Black kids, nonprofit Negro organizations are actually a hindrance. Do you believe that? Because I certainly do, but do you believe that or no?
You saying are a hindrance
to and if
society?
Yes, if you look at a lot of inner city communities, there's always some Negro, and typically he's a member of Alpha Phi Alpha, Kappa Alpha Psi, and they always want to start these groups, these we got to help the Black boys groups. In my opinion, I think that this really does a very disservice to the community, because it encourages the next generation of both men and women to produce another generation of degenerate kids. And the cycle just continues. Whereas I don't really see a lot of these groups in the white community or the Asian community. So that's what I said earlier. What about you, sir? Go ahead.
So when I say it takes a village, I mean, you have to have a village mindset, whereas though, if you say, okay, you're just in these groups, is not to exclude any other groups that you may be a part of. And so if you look within any other communities, they will have, baseball group or knitting group or a reading group. You know what I'm saying? It's not just one. It's
Is there any group called White Men Help White Boys groups?
I'm sorry, what?
Are there any groups that literally say we're white men and we want to help out poor, downtrodden white boys? And let's say these white men are middle class professionals. Do they ever make any groups that, hey, we're going to go to the trailer parks to help poor, downtrodden white boys?
Right. I mean, if you are going to help impoverished communities, more than likely you're going to start with the community that you are a part of. If you are in a trailer park, then you would want to help others in that trailer park. Same thing if you are in the inner city hood, or what you would call a hood or whatever. That would be what community you would want to help out, because that is where you see the problem. So if say for instance you wanted to help out trailer parks or whatever, and you are from the inner city, people would look at you like, okay, like it's other places that you could focus your energy that would be better served versus going to trailer. You know what I mean? Like you going out your way for what? You know what I mean? I don't see any type of people in trailer parks coming and trying to help out inner city, like, oh, we doing a little bit better than y'all. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. I don't think it's a like we call it a victim Olympics, where people are out here trying to give help out to people who don't need it, or who would, they wouldn't identify some type of struggle with.
Let me ask you this. And before I ask you this, I want to tell you something. When I've taught at inner city schools and also taught at charter schools, Black, I proposed a no rap, a no junk food policy at the charter school, which my own fraternity brother was the principal at. And another fraternity brother was the CEO, charter school. They shut me down. They said I was an elitist. They said that I think I'm better than the Black people there. Do you think that would have been a good idea? Because the kids there, they knew how to recite rap lyrics and at the time, this is like 2014 maybe, they recited the rap lyrics to Chief Keef, but some of these kids were in the 7th grade and they could barely, spell. So do you think that a no rap ban or a no junk food ban will encourage a more ordered institution or for inner city schools?
I think if I was to agree to that, I would have to agree that rap music and the junk food is a problem. But in moderation, or with certain genres, if you are listening to certain rap artists that may speak positively, and you fill your head instead of with Chief Keef, but more of with say Mos Def type or Yasin Bey lyrics, then it's going to be a difference in that child, I think. And if you are going to say, okay, just this is bad, what about heavy metal or you know what I'm saying, some of those other or some type of wild things that you hear in country songs. So if you are going to say that it's just that genre, you have to say that the lyrics themselves within that genre are the thing, or the eating snack or junk food every day type thing, or only consuming that, not having any healthy products. Like if you say, okay, I'm just going to ban all snacks, that's different versus saying only that. Okay, so if I'm saying the only snacks I'm allowing is an apple or something that is healthy, right? Then you will have people who bring in healthy snacks instead of offering what you're not going to allow. Offer a solution and be solution oriented and saying, okay, you know what, as an educator, I know that I don't want to hear no. What I want to hear is something I can do. And so what you can do is you can bring in, somebody might bring in some pineapple, papaya, all kind of different ethnicities have different snacks that they may have, and they may offer something that's healthier. And you'd be like, you know what, instead of the taquitos or whatever the fuck they call it, I'm sorry for cursing. Sorry for cursing, but whatever they call it, I'm gonna bring in something that is able to share and also something that's able to trace to my heritage.
So you're saying that, okay, so from the sounds of it, I would assume that if you lived in the inner city, you would send your kids to the school that is also in the inner city that will be assigned to them.
Correct.
Wow. Go ahead.
Yeah, unless they are able to test out or get into different program because not all inner city schools have the same curriculum. You may be able to say get into a Montessori or a different type of curriculum for your child within that inner city, and you wouldn't even know it was there. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think it depends on that child and what you feel like they would be successful at. Because if you have a meek or what you would deem as a weak child, you're not going to want to send them to one of those rough places. But
when I was a kid, sir, I had a very strong constitution. I would be, when I did go to inner city schools, I mean, literally every class, every day, the kids would act a complete fool. And there were times when I would be the only one who would do the work, who would listen to the teacher. Do you think that in a situation like that, let's say it was a student who was intelligent, but was in those same circumstances, do you think that the best thing to do is to remove the bad students?
I think in order to have a successful classroom, you definitely probably should let those children who want to learn, let them learn, and the ones who don't, you kind of got to give them their own atmosphere. I think who did it best was Lean on Me. It's a classic.
Yeah, I know the movie. Yeah, very familiar.
And so if you want to, what do you say? If you want to jump, you want to kill yourself, go ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to push you off the roof. I'm gonna let you do it on your own. So what he was saying was, if you're going to do it expeditiously. Don't wait around. You poisoning yourself little by little for what? And I think those type of figures will have a better impact on people than saying, look at them and how wrong they're doing over there.
Thank you so much, SO.
I appreciate you for letting me have.
Hey man, no problem. Man.
Peace.
Yep, peace, guys. That was SO on the ones and twos. SO, hey man, he listen. He's a unique individual in my book. I mean, he definitely gave a good argument in support of the inner city public schools. I don't. I'm always free for open conversation and perspective. But listen, my point still stands. Run if you have to. Fight if you have to. But do not send your kids to those schools. It is the year 2022, and people that are products of these schools, even to this day, these schools don't even encourage the kids to speak proper English. My God. How many children that go to these schools, how many of these children don't even read or write listen, man, when I was in high school, there were kids who were products of, growing up and going to inner city public schools. There were 10th graders who were writing at a 3rd grade level. They were reading at a 2nd grade level. They couldn't comprehend the material. And a lot of them wanted to learn. They wanted to achieve. But because of their upbringing, because they were in these jungles in the elementary school level and in the junior high school level, they were around, kids jumping off a desk, fighting all the time, disrupting the class. So they didn't get a chance to get a good education because the teacher took 75% of the time trying to get the class in order. So you have a lot of smart kids that are actually in the inner cities. It's just that you have a lot of dumb kids. And they need to, in my opinion, there should be a competitive. These schools need to be absolutely competitive at this point. And I'm telling you, I say it over and over. If you are really young, don't send your kids to these schools. My God. Let me read some of the chat real quick, though. Let's see. The Messenger 215 says, didn't a lady go to jail in Georgia for sending her child to a better school out of her district? She did. She did. And my argument is, why didn't the lady work hard enough in life where she couldn't have already have lived in that type of a community, send her kids to that public school in the first place? Again, listen, you guys are going to get offended by this one. But I can argue that. Don't have children until you're ready don't have children until you're ready to afford, or you're ready to the point where you can afford to send them to at least a private school, parochial, or at least live in a good zip code. At least the public school there is good. I'm ruthless, man. I'll let those inner city public schools die if you leave it up to me. Excuse me, guys. King Shenard says most inner city schools or teachers don't give a about the kids. Yes, they do. King Shenard, they wouldn't be there if they didn't care. I taught. I'm telling you, it's the teachers. I mean, not the teachers. It's the students. It's the students and it is the parents. They don't care. I've seen parents come up to the school and they come into the office and the secretary gets knocked out. The administrative assistant gets punched. All because the parent is mad at something that her kid did. These teachers get paid $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, man, to teach a classroom of 30 out of control kids. They care. And I'll say it again, King Shenard. Those white teachers should be in my opinion, they should be given the Medal of Freedom going into those inner city black ass schools. If you ask me, those are war zones. Some of these schools are absolutely violent. What about Columbine? What about day after day, teachers in the inner city, both black and white, are getting assaulted by Shaniqua and Tyrone in the inner city? It happens. You can go. I don't got to show y'all nothing because you can just go on YouTube and you can go on Google and just type in "teacher gets assaulted," and you already see who's doing it. The link is dropped, guys. So those teachers care. Those teachers care a lot. You know, imagine you grew up in the suburbs or you grew up in, a very well-to-do neighborhood and you're like, Mom, Dad, I would love to be a school teacher and go teach in the inner city. And I knew a kid in college like that. He was a white boy. And I was so mad at him. He said, I want to go to the inner city and help out black people. I said, what? Now this is when I was super pro-black. And I was like, I was like a hotep black. I'm like, what do you mean by that, man? What? But now I understand it. Imagine, you're from a culture or a community or a civilization where, you don't see these things going on. And you see these people, they're downtrodden. And a lot of it is self-inflicted. And you see that these kids are underachievers. You see a lot of them are, they get caught up in violence and they get caught up in the courts. And you say, I want to go help them. A lot of those white people, man, I got to give them credit for going to the inner cities, man, and helping out these blacks. Gay or not, they could be gay or not. I mean, I got to give them credit, man. Because if it was up to me, I wouldn't. I'm done. Because there's no helping them. The way you help the inner cities is you got to get the good kids and you got to get them away. I mean, far away. I mean, so far away from these ghetto schools that they don't even remember the names of them. And then you take the kids who don't care about learning, put them in a trade or something. Put them in a trade. And for the ones who don't even do good at the trades, Those are the ones that you get ready for prison. Okay, hey, you're not, you don't care about the work, you don't care about the exam. It's just prison time for you, because that's where you're going to be going. That's how I would set it up. You don't care about learning. Let's see here who's in the chat. Oh, Gary made a good point. Gary says, whether the teachers care or not, they can't force the kid to listen and learn. It starts at home, which shows that they don't respect their parents. No, they don't, Gary. They don't. They don't. They don't. Listen, man, when I was teaching, a lot of these teachers, man, they really did care. They really prepared their lessons. And these kids, man, they don't have a culture of academia at home. Again, a lot of their parents smoking weed. What'd you learn at school today, baby? A lot of these kids see their parents smoking weed. A lot of their parents are drunk. A lot of their households don't have a father in it. And, these kids are growing up in these dysfunctional households. And then the worst part is, and I keep saying it over and over, that TV, man, those electronic devices are a killer, man. And you as the parent, you gotta say, listen, man, a lot of these kids aren't smart anyway. I mean, and I'm just being brutal. A lot of these kids aren't smart. Look, I'm not smart compared to Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm not smart compared to Jamie Dimon. And you just have to admit these things. But at least you could become proficient at something. But you can't do it if you're just in front of a TV all day. Just clicking buttons. And when I grew up, when I was growing up, and I would go to my friends' homes who lived in the inner city. That's all their mom or grandparents would be doing, watching TV. Never reading books. Sometimes they didn't even have a book in the home, but a Bible. Never reading anything, never having intellectual conversations. When I was a kid growing up, and I got to tell you a lot of stories, I was in the library one day, and I was reading a book about Star Trek. I watched Star Trek, and I was reading. Star Trek also has, books for the expanded universe. I'm reading the Star Trek book. Now, of course, Star Trek is science fiction, but it's a lot of things you can learn. And there's a lot of hypothetical technologies, etc. I'm just reading Star Trek. One of my, I wouldn't call him a friend, but somebody from the same junior high school I went to was at the library was in the same neighborhood. Like, man, what you reading, man? I'm like, oh, I'm reading Star Trek. He said, man, that's corny, man. That's corny. Why are you reading that? The nigga was mad at me because I was reading. And he was mad because I was reading Star Trek. Can you imagine? And he was up there just to get on the computer to play some games. This was like in the mid 90s, like 96, 97. So he's probably playing some game that they had available on the internet. Wasn't doing anything. And this is what happens. So in these households in the inner city, and I got to say this, they're not encouraged to like science fiction and, things of that magnitude. When I was a kid growing up, especially in the inner city, we're in the 8th grade. They got us watching Disney movies. They got us watching Roots. I'm like, why are we watching this, teacher? Why are we watching this downtrodden movie? Why don't we watch something about science or something? But the teacher already knew. The teacher says, hey, man, these kids don't care about no science. Let them watch a Disney movie. These are 7th graders. It's the truth. Let me look at the chat. The Black Baron says this man reads Star Trek. You didn't have a TV. No, I mean I was never really a big TV watcher. Never. I just couldn't sit there and just watch some TV. I just couldn't do it. I can't do it now. I don't even own a TV now. But the thing is that in the inner city, man, the resources do exist. There are libraries in schools in the inner city. There are librarians in the schools. There are computer labs in the inner city public schools. It's just that when the kids go there, they don't get on there and do anything educational. They don't want to. And nobody forces them to do it. Because if the teacher tried to, don't let it be a white teacher or a man, the black parent say, you racist. How am I racist, man? You racist because you're trying to get him to learn. And I'm telling you, these are real things, man. These are real things I'm talking about. So I commend white folks for going into black schools, like inner city schools. I commend you. Again, you need to get the Congressional Medal of Honor, if you ask me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me see. Eugene says, I have somewhat experienced what you have experienced in school, chaotic. It was not in the inner city school I attended, but I was one of 2 black students in my Algebra 2 class. I was the top of that. Yeah. Let me read some of the chat real quick. All right, let me go back real quick. Generational Love says, not every child is competitive. Not every answer is created under pressure about speed. School should only be a confirmation to a micromanaged schedule already set by parents and mentors. I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that. You know, a lot of times in the inner city, you know, I gotta say this, but the parents are never held accountable. See, me, I remember I was at a high risk, it was a nonprofit organization for students that had got kicked out of their home school. So they had to come to this nonprofit organization. It was a behavior at risk. I don't want to say the name of it because I don't want you to call it and dox it. But the kids were, I mean, we could legally restrain the kids when they got out of control. So it was this one boy, he's acting a fool all the time, just couldn't stop. And again, society had encouraged him to act a fool because it's not your fault. You have a mental illness. It's always somebody else's fault. So the kid, like most kids, you tell them that, they act a fool. It's like, I can just blame it on somebody else. So one day I reprimanded him and said that, hey man, you know, hey, listen, let me take this comment off because I want you to see what I was doing. The kid was acting a fool in my class one day while I was trying to do an assignment that I prepared for. And I say, I'm gonna say the kid's name was Johnny. I'm like, hey Johnny, this is what you're gonna be doing, man. This is what you're gonna be doing. And the kids knew what I was talking about. Like, you're gonna be frying fries the rest of your life. Frying fries. This little dude goes back and tells his single mom what I said. So she comes up to the school thinking she's about to pop fly with me. I said, oh no. So I get called out to the principal's office. And he was such a liberal pansy. His kids certainly didn't go to this place, didn't even live in the damn neighborhood. He was like, oh, did you say that to him? I said, you damn right I said it to him. I said it to him because your white ass ain't living in this neighborhood. You don't do business in this neighborhood other than come down here and take money. So I was like, you damn right I said it to him. So the lady says, oh, that's how you talk to the principal here? I said, the principal? He's just my boss. He's my boss, technically. I was like, I don't care who he is. I know how to deal with blacks, and I know how to deal with your son, lady. So the lady said, what did she say? She said something about, well, I don't like the way you talk to him. I said, I don't care how you like it, lady. Your son comes to school. He acts a fool. He doesn't do any of the work. He's disruptive. He's this, that, and the other. And on top of that, this is an at-risk school. So it ain't like he's an angel. Well, the next time, I'm saying, no, lady, it ain't about no next time. I said, you're not a good mother. You need to have more, you need to spend more attention with your son. And I said, I'm not some man you deal with on the streets. I don't care I don't care what type of man you dealt with. You ain't dealing with him. You ain't talking to me any kind of way. That lady said, well, I just don't like. See, that's how you got to put a lot of these inner city parents in their place. See, a lot of you teachers, a lot of y'all are punks. See, you're scared of you're scared of the parents. You're scared of the parents. What they gonna do to me? You scared of some chick who's on welfare? Stop. Come on, man. You out of your damn mind. You scared of some unemployed chick? Some little fat, short, unemployed chick? Stop. I ain't one of these white liberals here. I don't care what you say. And I don't care about this job. I got friends watching me right now. I don't know if they'll comment. They'll tell you I'll leave a job. I don't have a job. I work for myself now, but they'll tell you I would leave a job in a heartbeat back in the day. I don't care about this job. I make my own money. I make my own luck. And that's how a lot of y'all need to be talking to these teachers, man. I mean, to these students' parents, their parents. You gotta shame them. What you gonna do? Especially if you're a man. You 6 foot tall, and you got some 5 foot short, little fat, little welfare queen disrespecting you. Come on, man, stop. You should be ashamed of yourself. And that's why I always said, if you are a black man, if you're gonna be a punk, don't even teach in these inner city schools. Don't do it. See, the way to fix the inner city schools is you got to be brutal. You do, man. You have to be brutal. Man, I'm going to get, I was hoping she would have said, I'm going to get some dude. I was like, oh, really? I'd have got to call in 911 so quick. I was about to lie and say the niggas had AK-40s. I was like, oh, they got AKs? Oh, I call the police, man. Thank you for that $20 super chat. It says educators must set the vision for a child and community according to the Holy Spirit about God's coming kingdom. Take authority that the world desires for us to all walk away from. Learn how to lead and how to let go. Thank you so much for that $20 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. Guys, give a big thumbs up to Generation Love. See, the problem is that, a lot of you guys are afraid to say that. You're so afraid. But I've never been afraid, especially of no inner city people. Come on, man. You're in the inner city. What possibly could you do? The reason, again, I keep saying it. The reason why the inner city public schools are a mess is because, first of all, there's no really men in these schools. And the men that they have are, I'm not going to say it, but we know what kind of men are, a lot of these men in that school. And then, like I said, you may have a school where it's like 5 men in the school, and one of them is like really like a man for real, but you need a lot of men in these schools. And you need to, like, again, man, you need to have strict rules. Hey, you come in here sagging one time, man, you're expelled. You come in here doing this one time, you got to set examples, man. You got to string. Ooh, let me stop. You got to set examples. You got to set examples if you really want to change. If not, leave. Because these public schools are the equivalent of the Stone Age. And why do I want to continue to live in the Stone Age when we got the digital age? I want to be around. I want to be at a good school. I want to be at a nice, pleasant school. Why would I want to continue to be there? Generation Love, thank you so much again, man. Guys, the link is dropped. The link is dropped, man. I know a lot of people are upset with me. I know a lot of people are crying. They're like, I can't believe he's saying these things. Why is he talking like that? Well, I'm talking like that because a lot of y'all are scared to say these things. A lot of you are living in imagination land. A lot of y'all are like, what is he talking about? But the people who are saying, what is he talking about? Your kids don't go to inner city schools. That's ironic, isn't it? What is he talking about? And your kids go to something private school. Stop. People want to be around order and peace, man. And the inner city schools are absolute jungles. And they are, man. Come on, stop. We know that, man. The Black Baron says, again, guys, thanks, Generation Love. Thank you again for that super chat, man. Much appreciation, man. Thank you so much. Let me see who's in the chat. JQ says, I went to inner city public schools in Gary, Indiana during the late 90s. So you can imagine what it was like. Oh, man, it must have been like visiting hell. Must have been like visiting hell. Hollering and screaming in class. That's all you hear. That's all you hear. From first period to ninth period. Whatever blocking, well, I don't know how some schools do. Some schools do blocks. Block B or block A. It's not pleasant, man. It's just not. You know, it's like I would say going to inner city schools is like having a dark cloud over you. And it is, man. I you know, like I said, I hated it. Let's see. Chief Rocket says there was a segment that was broadcast on the local news, Baltimore, that showed a teacher who was assaulted while she was attempting to break up a fight. Salute to the black folk teaching in our low. The message got cut off, but KGY says, man, my classes used to terrorize the substitute teacher. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's no order. And what happened in a lot of these schools is that, and this is why I tell a lot of black men, do not teach in these schools. You as a sub, and I've seen this happen before with subs, you're not protected. You can easily be asked not to come back to the school. And they will blame everything on you. Oh, yeah, I've seen it. They will blame everything on you. And a lot of times these principals, and a lot of times they're like white liberals, they align themselves with the students. So the student could be completely wrong. And the substitutes will say, hey, man, this kid was doing X, Y, Z. And the principal will say, well, that's your fault. You should be a better educator. Let me ask you a question. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you don't know this. Why is there a teacher shortage right now? Just ask yourself that question. Ray says, damn, for sagging, fine. Have a class for sagging. You come in and sit down at your desk. You don't get up till your pants are up. Your pants fall. You go back to the class for the rest of the day. Let me see. Eric says, I agree with most of what you're saying, but don't forget about how the school system is failing the good kids. Yeah, I was talking about that. The school system is failing a lot of the good kids. And like I said before, man, in the inner city, man, you know, if you were to condense the inner city in terms of the school, let's say 100 students, I would say 20 of them are exceptionally bright students. But the problem is they're around monkeys all day. They are. I don't care why you call us monkeys, because that's what they are. They're not anything else other than that. They're monkeys. And they cause so much disruption that the good kids, they can't really reach their potential because of that behavior. Auntie J, you're gonna have to get like on a computer or just turn it off, because I don't want that cell phone look over here. Can you just like turn it off real quick, or it's just it's like I don't want that shakiness. Give me a second, guys. Oh, perfect. Hey, Auntie J, stand it back. Auntie J, stand it back until you fix that. What's going on, Jack? Jack, did you go to an inner city school, sir?
Hey, what's going on, Chaotic?
What's going on, man? Did you go to an inner city school, sir?
I did actually, and we got an echo right now. Is it you hear it on me?
I think it's on you, but go ahead.
Yes, I went to an inner city school. I did actually, and we got an echo right now. Is it you hear it on me?
I'm muted, so that has to be on your end.
That was I had the YouTube still up. That's what it was. But yeah, I went to inner city school, Chicago public schools, actually. Can you hear me?
Oh God, yeah, I heard you. My God.
Yeah.
So what was your experience, sir, going to Chicago public schools?
Not as bad as yours. Going to the Ohio public schools, but bad. It wasn't great. I went to several bad schools. Bad. Low teacher engagement. High crime area. low, low performing students, all of that. All of that. All of what you say is true about Chicago, about public schools in general. It's a fact. But it's by design. People have rushed these schools into being the petri dishes they are in. They are. People didn't want their children to fail, so they made you not give them an F. Right now, my kid is in a public school. He goes to a pretty good one, and we like it. But the education is, you have to be an active participant in it. First day of school orientation, the teacher told us that he will get no grade lower than a 50%, even if he doesn't turn the work in. That's horrible to me. If my son doesn't turn in an assignment, he should get a 0. I want him to earn the grades he gets. And I don't want easy A's or A's that aren't actual A's. Because how am I going to know if I'm looking at a report card and you got an A, but then I look at an aptitude test or performance skills test and you're several grade levels below what you're supposed to be? Exactly. Now, that isn't the case with my son. My son, he does very well. He goes to a selective enrollment school here. And that's kind of what has to happen in Chicago in general. You put your kid in the public school, you have to find a selective enrollment school that will be worth something education wise. They're going to teach them something there because the people there have to actively participate to enter. And then your seat's not guaranteed. You know, you mess up, you act up, you fall below, they're going to put you out. If you can't perform here, you got to go to a school that is not as accelerated as this one. They teach 2 grade levels above every year. So 4th grade now, he's doing 6th grade. He'll be ending 6th grade after the 4th grade. And then 5th, in every grade they do that grade and 2 grades above it. So that's how that school works for them. We have to be engaged as parents. You should know your teacher. You should know your kids' teachers' names, the principal. You should know the homework assignments. It's so much technology out here that assists the parents. It also aids in the deviousness of the kids, but it aids you as well. You have to be able to use the technology that's afforded to you. They have things like Aspen. They have things like iExcel. They have all these other tools that the kids used and have in Google Classroom that you can go on and you can see what your kid is supposed to be doing. You can see your kids' actual real-time grades when they log them in. So right. Before anybody should know if your kid is missing anything, you should know if your kid is behind in anything or they're not getting the information, they're not getting the work because they're putting in F's. Even if they're not bringing you the paper home just yet, they're trying to hide it or whatever. They can't. What's your question?
Well, Jack, can I ask you a question?
Actually, is Jacques.
Oh, it's Jacques. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry.
My mother from Alabama, my father from the project, so they got as close as they could to it.
Jacques, should white teachers be given the Purple Heart for teaching in inner city public schools?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I don't believe in rewarding people for doing what their job is. You know you're going to a harder situation. You know you're going into a situation where it's going to be an uphill battle. Then don't complain about the battle being uphill. We knew what it was when we got in here. The thing is, a lot of these other teachers, white teachers, Indian teachers, a lot of teachers, they'll get into the profession with an end goal in mind. I'm going to go to an inner city school and I'm going to get my student loans paid off and I'm going to work the job here and I'm going to qualify for these grants and different things like that. And I'll build my resume and I'll build my credentials up. And then I'll take that and I'll go to a different school. And the thing is, they'll actually care. You'll have these teachers in the school that'll allow these children to act an absolute fool, but they have no skin in the game. They don't really care about your children's well-being. So they'll allow them to do themselves a disservice because they don't care. Not my kid, not my community. I don't live over here. I live in the community that my child attends school in. I'm here, I'm present. Kids come home from school, kids out of school in the summertime, they see me cutting the grass outside. They see me, myself, they see my wife, they see my 2 kids. They see a younger looking couple doing what a nuclear family should do next door.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I see what you're talking about. some of these schools have exceptionally good students. Some of them just don't. Should there be, look, man, we're going to put these kids here and the rest of these kids, we're just going to get them ready for prison, because a lot of these kids are going to go to the penitentiary anyway. Let's be honest.
It's messed up to say it.
Yeah.
But that's the way it actually, in my opinion, has to kind of be. It's an emergency. You're in an emergency situation. Chicago in general, specifically, because I'm knowledgeable about Chicago schools. That's why my kid goes.
Yeah.
So a lot of them they underperform. So when you're faced with that, you have to act accordingly. You have to do your due diligence to get what you need to get what you need done. So when you're in emergency situation, you have to triage. I have to look at the ones that I need to make it. And we have to do kind of a reverse triage. Like from hospitals, they do the most detrimental individual, we give them the attention. But we have to do kind of a reverse triage situation where we're at, where we got to get the good kids away from the kids that are not good. Maybe we can help the bad kids when we get them separated, and we can delineate, we can decipher. Okay, that kid's not really bad. The kid just gets distracted by other people, and let's not write them completely off. Okay, let's move them over here and let's see how they adjust and see how they do, and if they can get themselves out of that pool, and then go back over here with the kids that actually want to learn something. But you have to triage the situation, and if you're gonna be successful, because otherwise you're gonna be in the classroom. You're going to have 10, 12 students that want to learn something. Then you'll have 15, 16 that do not. And you will not get a complete thought out of your mind to teach individuals when you keep getting interrupted. So now the education is taking a hit because the teacher isn't able to do what the teacher needs to do. If every 12 seconds I got to stop to tell your kid to stop, be quiet, don't do that, don't beat on the desk, don't stomp your feet, because you're distracting. I'm trying to get this child to read in the class, and they can't. Because you're being noisy.
His ghetto point of view says tiger moms in the inner city get CPS cases for being stern and strict. Now, we know that's just a joke, but in my opinion, if you want to kill a rat infestation, I never have to have done this before, but I can only assume the way to kill a rat infestation is to go to the source. In my opinion, I believe we'd have to go to the source. Shame the parents and encourage the parents to become tiger parents, like a tiger mom. Like become tiger moms. Turn the TV off. Jacques, I don't know how old you are, Jacques, but I'm 38.
I'm 41.
Okay, so we're the same age then. So I grew up in the latch. We were like latchkey kids, but yeah. But a lot of people don't know that there were times where people just would sit in front of the TV all day because we didn't have iPads and iPhones and all of this. But there was a time where I would go to my friends' homes and all they would do is the family would just be watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, turning the TV off is key. And I feel like teachers should encourage parents, hey, look, turn these electronic devices off. Turn the Wi-Fi off. Read with these kids. Read and read.
If your kid has an iPad, your kid should have a library in the house.
Right.
I mean, like not you ain't got to be extensive like you trying to be Cornel West, but a bookshelf.
Yeah. A
bookshelf, and that'll solve it. You have to engage your kid. Engage them in books that they would like to read. It doesn't have to be War and Peace. They can read Dogman books and Catman books. That's actually a real thing. But they can read those and it'll be fine. It'll expand their mind. It'll get them in tune with what they need to be in tune with. But TV is easy.
Well, it's easy.
iPad is easy.
It's right, but it's easy because the adults make it easy.
I mean, it's easy for the adults. Right. It's easy for the adult to say, go watch TV. Or just watch TV with me, but don't say anything. Because I don't want you to sometimes we have children that we don't want to outsmart us, outpace us in the intelligence field.
You think there are parents like that?
I think that there are parents that I know for a fact there are parents that do not understand their child's homework.
Yeah,
that will not engage their child intellectually because their child may best them.
Yeah.
So I don't want to talk about a book with you. I don't want you to tell. I don't want you to come to me with homework questions about, well, how do I find the main idea of this passage right here, Mom? And then Mom sitting there reading, and her comprehension skills aren't what they need to be because she doesn't read. So she doesn't know how to identify a main topic or supporting details in the text, and that you can use that to go do your homework with. So she'll just say, "Nah, get on my face. Wait, go put that down."
And that's the problem. And again, that's the problem. And if the parents are not going to be tiger parents, this is why I say to younger people, do not, if you are an intelligent younger person, you want to have kids, you don't want your kids in school with kids like that who come from parents like that. Because the parent doesn't care about education. They don't obviously care about learning. They don't care about improving. So the kid doesn't care. And again, there's a reason why these private schools are superior and inner city public schools are not, because those parents care. They hire tutors. They engage with these kids. Trust me, I know. Go ahead, sir.
But that's the thing. That's not the school being better. It's the school's community being more engaged.
Yeah.
And we have to have, it's the thing. It's not that CPS is going to fail your kids. It's that CPS is going to be an uphill battle. And we have to, a lot of us don't have resources to give private school for our kids. So we have to rely on the public school, because where else if I can't afford a $10,000 a year tuition for my 3 kids,
yeah,
they got to go to public school. There's just no way around it.
So here goes the thing, Jacques. So I said this earlier. In my opinion, if you can't afford to pay for your kids to go to school, you shouldn't have kids. Now, I know that's easier said than done. I don't have any children.
Very much so.
But don't have children. I mean, this is the year 2022. You don't need to have kids. For what? Go ahead.
I would say that to this, and I don't mean to cut you off, but
no, you good.
You can't wait for the perfect situation to happen in order for you to be able to start a family. If I'm gonna wait until I can afford private school for all my kids, hell, I might not be able to have 3 kids until I'm 40. And then who wants that star 3?
Here goes my thing. Well, Jacques, here goes my thing. And again, this is my opinion. Mm-hmm. Maybe you don't need to have 3 kids if you can't afford 3 kids. This is America. This is a capitalistic country. Things are expensive here. If you want to have 3 kids, go to Africa. Go to Liberia. You have all the kids you want. But here in America, you need money. You need a lot of it. And the fact of the matter is that public schools have been inferior for a very long time. And it's not a good product. It probably will never be a good product. And if you can't afford homeschooling or tutors or private school, when I was teaching, man, it was schools where it would be 4 and 5 siblings in the school, and they would all be poor and living in abject poverty and dumb as a box of rocks. I'm like, well, what is the purpose of you guys? What is the purpose of you? Just to exist? Doesn't make any sense. This isn't the 1800s. Yeah, you're not tending to any farms. You don't need these big families anymore. That's just me, though, Jacques. Go ahead, sir.
I'll say this to that. I'll say don't have children that you are not able to rear. If you're not ready to raise a child, don't have a child. I wasn't ready to pay for private school, but we were ready to have kids. I was ready to be a father. I am a father. I'm active. So all the money that I don't have, I make up for it in attentiveness. So I probably could afford it, but I'm just not. I tutor my kid. My kid has an issue in the subject and needs some help. I'm there. What you need? I do it. I work with them through that. So just don't have them unless you're ready to have them, unless you're ready to rear them. Don't let your ability to afford all the finer things in life preclude you from starting it, because you don't need a Mercedes and you don't need to drink champagne. You can drink water and you can get a Kia and you could be perfectly fine in life, and you could be successful and you can raise successful children that way. You don't have to have everything. Sense don't cost. It don't cost you nothing to have sense.
All right, so here goes the thing. When I was teaching and when I went to school, I was always saying that black students, particularly in the inner city, are competing. But we're competing, but we don't know. So the
Oh
Jewish
yeah.
kids are competing. The Asian kids are competing. It's just the black kids are competing, but we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And there would be times when I went to when I went to inner city public schools, I would challenge the teacher to give us more work, more assignments, something harder. And my fellow students, classmates, they would get mad at me. And then I would tell them, I would say, listen, man, these Jewish kids over there, their school is rated number 10 in the state. You see these kids, their school is superior to ours. And then I had white teachers come to me like, why are you talking like this? I'm like, what do you mean why I'm talking like this? Where's your kids at? How come they don't go to this school since you don't know what I'm talking about? Go ahead.
I've seen you speak, and I can understand why they say that. I can understand why somebody would have that response. Your words can be biting, very. And
how should they be to people? Should I tickle people to get my
no,
point?
you shouldn't tickle people.
Yeah.
You shouldn't tickle people, and I'm not necessarily offended by you calling individuals monkeys, but I can see someone that can get their dander up if you're going to refer to individuals as monkeys, and they come in from a jungle, and the language can be off-putting to individuals, and it could close them off from accepting the information that you have that is correct. Is correct, and that's just your approach. And I wouldn't, if I were you, I wouldn't change my approach. The world needs people that bite, but the world also needs people that are able to get their message across in a more palatable way.
Yeah.
As long as it's getting across. If I'm able to communicate and you're learning it, you're learning it.
John the Baptist with that $20 super chat says homeschool GED style. Yeah, I am a strong proponent of homeschool. Many of our presidents of yesteryear, 100-something years ago, were homeschooled. Homeschooling, in my opinion, is good. And if people say they won't get social skills, I went to inner city public schools, and a lot of the people I went to school with don't have social skills either. Skills. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, yeah.
So social skills are learned through going out, mingling with people, being a part of groups, networks, et cetera, et cetera. And there are kids who were homeschooled. There were kids who went to small private schools who have more social skills than kids who had 40 classmates in the inner city ghetto public school. But yeah, thank you so much, John the Baptist, for that $20 super chat.
Yeah, kids don't say please and thank you. They don't. You have to make them do it. You hand the kid something, they'll say, all right. Or they're just taking it and walk away.
Yeah.
There don't be a thank you. And oftentimes people aren't around that. They don't experience it. I always try to say to people, please, thank you, yes, no. I try to be respectable to individuals until you make me get disrespectful. And you have to. I don't ever want to be in the altercation. I'll try to leave before it happens. If you force me into one, then I have to be in one. But typically, just walk away. Learn that. But kids don't have the walk away in them. They learn the social skill of aggression.
Yeah.
Of animus. That's a learned behavior. I learned that from watching my classmate, get your hands off me, and they yell it. And so now it's just indoctrinated. So now I don't react to, excuse me, don't touch me, please. I'm sorry. Don't touch me. I don't want to be touched. I don't like being touched. That's a way to say it, and that will probably get more results. But the way people used to it, get your hands off me, man. And now if you're up, then somebody else gets up, then somebody else sees it, they get up, and it's just learned and it's adapted. And then now we all speak like we don't love each other to one another, or like we don't respect each other.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said before, man, going back to what you're saying, when I was a kid growing up, black kids, they just love touching each other. They can't keep their hands to themselves. And when I was a kid growing up, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna pretend like, I didn't participate in horse playing. Mm-hmm. But there were times when I said, listen, do you think Jewish kids are horse playing all day? Do you think Asian kids are horse playing all day? And then that got the attention of my classmates. I said, why do we touch each other all damn day? And again, it goes back to this whole thing with, we don't have, well, not me, but there's parents generally don't say, we as black people, we don't do these things to each other. I'm pretty sure Jewish moms and Jewish dads say, listen, we don't hit other Jewish kids. We don't hit people, period, but we don't hit especially other Jews. And that's probably why there's not high rates of Jewish on Jewish crimes in America, because they make that a part of their culture. Like, we don't attack our own ethnic group, let alone any other one. But we make it a point not to harm our own people. You know, and it starts with like the little playing around all damn day. Get your hands off me. Quit touching me. But go ahead.
I don't know if Jewish people don't do that. I don't know. I don't know the crime rates between statistical crime rates between interracial criminality.
I know the crime statistics between Jews in America.
Okay. Zero. Hey, look, if it was up to them to report it, they probably wouldn't tell you what they do. I know I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I keep my stuff secret. But and I think a lot of people do that. Statistics are statistics. If you're looking for something, you're probably gonna find it. If we're the most over policed, over monitored people,
over police. I say we need more police.
I say we need more good police. I don't say we need more police necessarily.
I say this, man. If you got any type of police around blacks, that's good. We need to be over policed. We act a fool everywhere we go. We tear up, we destroy, and I don't know why nobody want to admit it.
But I think historically we have been over policed though, and the over policing hasn't. But hold on. But the over policing has to come to a changed outcome. If the outcomes are always the same, ain't that the answer to the what's the definition of insanity? If you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna expect different results.
Jacques, if we were not over policed, you think our communities look bad? Now our communities will look like Monrovia, Liberia. Jacques, I'm gonna do a. Go ahead, Jacques. Go ahead, Jacques.
I was just saying I don't think so, but I don't know.
Okay. Go to Jacques. Do me a favor. I might do a panel, so just come back because you got a great setup. So come back for the panel, okay? Or I can just leave you. I can leave you in the back if you just hang tight in the back for a minute.
Yeah, you can do that. That's fine.
Okay.
All right.
Did you go to an inner city school, Wolf?
Yes, sir, I did. Good evening, Mr. Chaotic. How you doing, sir?
I'm pretty good, man. And what school did you go to, man? What school district?
I went to District 21 in Brooklyn, New York. I live in Brooklyn, New York. Yeah.
Sweet mother of Jesus. And how was it, sir?
As a child, I'm 35 now. So as a child, it wasn't that bad because I had both parents in my household. So I actually knew how to discernment to not feel so emotional about certain things, thanks to my dad, of course. So I think that one of the things you said that I think you're skipping steps for us as a Black community. I think we should have schools that show kids things that parents don't. Like how put shop class back in school, show young boys and young girls how to say thank you and yes sir and no sir, and how to even put religion in schools that people think that their kids should go to.
Well,
I think we got to nip it in the bud before it gets to that,
Yeah, I mean, I feel you. I mean, well, religion might be tricky unless it's a school specifically tied to that religion. Like Catholic school or, school for Jews but you can't intertwine. You can't put Christianity in PS 130, whatever school, because there's a separation. But like I said, man, you could be right. I just personally wouldn't put my kids, if I had kids, I would not ever put them in public school. And again, this is for younger people who are watching. This isn't for people our age. I just say I just wouldn't do it. It was literally hell on earth, man. Not to say that it wasn't fun at times, but looking back at it, it was hell. It was really not a place for learning most of the time.
I agree.
It just wasn't. It was like a fashion show. And whenever I spoke out or anybody speaks out against it, we're labeled as coons and this, that, and the other. And you could be right, man. I just feel as though the parents should become tiger parents and they should turn the Wi-Fi off, turn the TV off, and just get down to business. Hey, man, we're going to be doing work. That's it. In my opinion, people want to negotiate with kids now. It ain't just blacks. It's whites. It's all across the board, I see. In my opinion, if you're 10 or 11, ain't no negotiating with you. You're going to do this or shut up. Yeah, go ahead. Sir.
Right. I still got to feed you. I still got to clothe you. So we don't negotiate feeding and clothing. So we definitely have to negotiate you doing this damn homework and do what I asked you to do.
Yeah.
So me as a father of 5 children, right? I'm in 4 out of 5 kids, all of my kids, like this being honest. I don't want to be a liar. I don't want to come on here. I just want to be honest, right?
Yeah.
My 4 children are very small children.
Yeah.
I read with them. I teach them how to pray. I teach them how to say yes, sir, no, sir. I teach them how to control their emotions. I have 1 daughter and 4 sons. I teach my sons as young men, as men. The reason why we are so heavily policed and we're so heavily killed and we're hurting each other because we're living in single mother homes where we just dealing with one emotion. That's just loud and feminine. As a man, the last thing we should do with another man is get loud and feminine. You know why? Because men realize the value of danger.
Yeah.
If I talk to you, talk to me in a certain way, I know we might have to fight. Somebody might be hurt. So women raising kids alone, women don't really see the value of danger. They put 2 headphones on a train. They walk in oblivious to the outside world.
Yeah.
And now they're raising kids that same way. What does that make our kids in our future?
Exactly. It makes them vulnerable, man, to a lot of things out in society. Omega Green with the $5 super chat says, I've gone to both inner city and suburban schools. Inner city schools are filled with low expectations and children that are barely literate. Yes, they are barely literate, Omega Green. I've been to so many inner city schools and literally the kids talk like, I'm like, huh? I can't understand a word you're saying. Anyway, hey, bro, stand in the back real quick. I want you to come on the panel, okay? Yeah, I got.
I'll be there.
Stand in the back, okay. John the Baptist, I see you, okay? Give me a second, okay? Okay. Black Rick, I don't know how much time you have, but what say you, sir? You have a child, sir.
I do have a child. That is correct.
Okay, and does your child is small, but will he be attending inner city schools? And what was your experience at inner city schools?
Hell no, he ain't going to inner city schools. I don't want him to get shot. I don't want him to absorb and soak in that woke inner city gangsta thug mentality culture. Are you crazy? Let me tell you something. I went to an inner city school and it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. People would fight over anything. Step on somebody's shoes, they fight you. You owe somebody $10, they fight you. That wasn't the worst part. The worst part was that the teachers and the other facility members had checked out. They had checked out Chaotic Truth because I'm not sure if you were ever a teacher, but
I was.
The parents would have the students back.
Yeah.
So if a student was causing a ruckus in a class and the teacher tried to chastise them or give them bad grades, the hoodlum's parents would go up there, cuss the teacher out, try to find her. I had an art teacher named Miss Healy, R.I.P., in junior high school. She was one of the only white women that worked in our school. And this poor woman, she was a fool, man. She should have got away. But you know, a lot of people become teachers because of passion, or stupidity if you're going in the public school system, in my opinion. Well, a young lady was failing her class and she accused Miss Healy, this art teacher, of racism. She said, it's because I'm black. You're failing me. It's because I'm a black woman and you hate me. And she got into it one day really bad with this lady. And, Miss Healy kicked the girl out the class. The next day, the girl came up there with her mama, her cousin, Ray Ray, Day Day, Coco, Lil John, Lil Ron. The girl came back up there with her whole family.
Yeah.
Her whole family. Went in the classroom, cussed the lady out, got in her face. One girl spit on the lady and said, I'll kill your racist so-and-so. That not what occurs on your panel.
Yeah.
Miss Healy grabbed her, because back then, there were no iPads or anything. She grabbed her planner and said, I'm not racist. There are tons of young, affluent, intelligent, artistic classroom who are excelling. I picked this community and this inner city. She tried to. The woman was trying to tell these idiots, "Hey, I picked this school because I care about disenfranchised kids. I believe they should have an opportunity." Girl looked at her and said, "Disenfranchise this," and punched her in the mouth, man. Okay, I made that last part off. But they cussed the lady out so bad, she walked to the principal office in tears. Tears were coming down her face. Could you imagine that? Just the embarrassment. She got out so bad. And you know how inner city unmentionables are. I don't want to say the word on your panel, but they followed her.
Yeah.
Followed that poor woman all the way to the principal's office. Be this, cussing her out, pushing at her hair, calling her racist.
Yeah.
Down in the principal's office, she said, "I can't do this anymore." She just, after that day, something changed. She just checked out. I tell you what, I got an A in that class, and I didn't do anything that semester.
So, can I ask you this question? Is it fair to say that you, if given, if you had to, you would not teach in an inner city school?
Oh, absolutely not. You couldn't pay me enough money. I would die if I taught in an inner city school, because I would walk in that classroom and I would see and this has happened before, I would see a bunch of kids from low income neighborhoods walking around with Jordans on and designer clothes, and I'd really break down how the system works. And I would let them know, and I would prove to them that they are at the bottom of society. You can dress up. That's not going to change the reality that you're in. And unfortunately, a lot of them of inner city kids are of that mindset. This closed culture, but it's a deeper issue in Black culture, especially in the inner city school system. Well, let's say you were a teacher, right? I know you've seen what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, again, I taught in inner city schools. Give me 1 second. Omega Green with the $5 super chat says, inner city schools function like miniature prisons. I spend more time fighting, witnessing fights, and watching stupidity than learning. I totally agree with you, Omega Green. And Black Rick, if you're still there, I know you're driving. Yeah, I agree with Omega Green. When I was a teacher, I really had one. I'm sorry, go ahead, Black Rick.
No, I was going to say I agree with them. It's just inner city needing young Black women to be nurses, LPNs, and all of these other very smaller positions, and it's teaching young Black men for prison because they don't believe in it. They don't believe in it. They don't believe in STEM. They are being taught, from the schools and within our culture. Oh man, you gotta go out and get your own, man. You gotta start your own business, man. You can't work for nobody. You can't work for no white man. Now here I just left a job where I work with a bunch of people who are production managers, different for this IPK that we're working on, this Android app. And I'm the only Black person in the office. And it's because of that mindset. It's because of how they're taught early on in school that if you're a Black man, you got to be tough, you got to be hood, you got to dress a certain way, you got to talk a certain way, you got to disrespect authority, you can't do team building, don't exist. I can't remember one time in my adolescence of going through elementary school and junior high school where we had a team building exercise where we had to work together. One person was in charge. We would come up with ideas and brainstorm like that. That type of thing doesn't exist because niggas don't like brain. It hurts them to get together and work together on something. The school I went to was so bad. Not only did they have metal detectors, we had police officers.
Yeah.
That had to patrol the hall because these idiots would get into fights about. I mean, imagine being so poor you're fighting over $5, and you know what's crazy, chaotic truth? It wasn't It wasn't even about the $5, nigga. There was one time I witnessed a fight. Dude was like, it was two friends of mine, and they were friends for years. So that culture seeped in, man. Asked the dude, hey man, can you loan me $5 until Friday? It was Monday when he asked this guy. Tell the truth, do you know by Tuesday he was complaining about how he loaned this guy the money? And I'm gonna speak verbatim. Man, I gave that nigga $5 on Monday, man. Where that nigga gonna pay? This is the type of stuff this is an everyday occurrence in the inner city school system. I gave that nigga $5, man. Where that nigga gonna pay me back? And when the fight happened, the dude was like, well, damn, I told you Friday. My parents give me my allowance. Oh, man, F that. I want my money now. And it's like, well, damn, why'd you loan it to me if you were going to do that? It wasn't about the $5, man. He wanted a reason to beat him up. He wanted a reason to hurt him. So he gave him an opportunity, man. In the back of his mind, he's like, oh, this is my opportunity to really hurt this dude, man. And check him, or play the dozens or whatever other dumb slang those dumb ebonics fools talk about. I had a history teacher. His name was Mr. Russell. And every time we would get to acting a fool in this class, he was a Jewish man. He would just start saying over and over, the dream deferred, the dream is dead. The dream is, yeah, a song about it. Again, they'd be like, oh, man, you racist, what that mean? He's like, y'all are the last generation of blacks. The blacks that are alive today are the last that will actually achieve anything. And it's not because of any systemic problem. It is because of culture. And he had pointed out. Some girl was talking loud in his class, and back in the day, Baby Fat and Fubu were very popular. So this girl was always wearing Baby Fat, talking about how good she looked, and And one day, Mr. Russell was like, "Girl, sit your ass down. You broke. Your mama is divorced, and she's getting alimony from your dad. That's about to be locked up in jail. You ain't got no damn money." And he named a neighborhood she lived in and talked about how low. Basically, it's a low-income neighborhood. There's no money out there. Your mama's a damn janitor. You don't make any damn money. Drive down. I forgot. It was a affluent community in Chicago that he named. He said, drive down there. They'll stop you in a heartbeat because they know your broke ass ain't supposed to be there. But look, I digress. I went on a tangent there. From my personal experience, I don't want my two sons anywhere near no public school. I'll take my chances with the whites. I'll take my chances with them because they haven't changed. I can't believe it. I can't. Sometimes, I go to therapy now because I just can't believe after 30 years they still doing the same crap. Gang banging, riding on each other, riding on their mama, shooting each other up at funerals. Hey, look, and I'll say this to any parent. If you want the best opportunity for your family and your kids, keep them as far away from inner city people as humanly possible. When you're school, I'm not laughing, nigga. It's not funny. When you're scoping out a school, drive around the neighborhood, check. I've been thinking about, discussing this stuff more because I keep seeing these horrible stories of, young men, losing their lives because, they go to some inner city part of town to try to buy weed, or they're on a college campus and they start shooting a water gun at some young black youths playing basketball and they beat them to death. And you got some white mama up there screaming, damn, did you have to kill him? You killed him. But let that happen to him. Oh, Lord. BLM. Oh, they lose their mind. So, no. To your question, hell no. I'd rather die. I'd rather send my sons to a Catholic school. And that's saying a lot. I don't want them. You know what? I'm driving right now. I'm driving by the ghetto right now. Hell no. You know what? I tell you what. I'm gonna drive by my. I'm gonna find a high school and drive by. And you can just tell. It's the inner city, man. You can tell. You don't want your kids around this shit. There's something wrong with them.
Hold on. What at a time? Go ahead, Black Rick.
Well, my closing argument is that there's something wrong with black inner city culture. It promotes violence, hatred, and a false illusion of wealth.
Yeah.
So the public school system is just a industrialized prison to keep an idiot black man who can't wake up to keep feeding that prison system. That's it. But no.
Okay.
I'd rather shoot myself off in a Falcon 1 SpaceX rocket and launch me into the vacuum of space before I let my kids go to a public school.
Is that it, Black Rick?
I'd rather swim through a river infested with human feces than to let my son go to an inner city school. I drink the water before I let them go. I would rather rip out my own eyeballs, rip off my testicles before I let that happen, man. That's how serious I am.
Well, Black Rick, thank you so much, man. Black Rick? Oh, okay. Ash with the $10 super chat says, if you want to fix the inner city schools, fire 60% of the female teachers, preferably liberal teachers, and hire 51% of more male teachers. Bring Joe Clark back. In addition, stop voting Democrats. Ash with the $10 super chat, and I agree with Ash. And Ash, I did allude to that earlier. I said the only way to fix these schools, if you want to fix them, is you do have to make these schools very patriarchal. You're going to have to bring in brutality. You're going to have to get rid of these liberal white teachers, these liberal black teachers, the LGBT teachers. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. And you got to bring in strong male leadership. You got to bring in black men that are going to crack some of these kids over the head. Boom! You got to bring some of those teachers in. Sorry about that. You got to, I mean, you really do. And you got to have those teachers in. Hold on, I got to mute somebody. You got to bring these people in. It's the truth, man. Ash also with another $10 says, in order to accomplish the female to male teacher ratio, the voters must first have to reelect all conservative candidates, then change the institution. Yes, because we all know that recently, and we saw it, that the conservative candidates, particularly Ron DeSantis, is definitely pro parent choice. And he is not, these conservative politicians are not all for that silly liberal agenda that is taking place. So thank you so much, Ash, with the $10 super chat, man. It's very, very appreciated. Guys, what say you, man? Let's rock it out for the next 35, 40 minutes. Wait a minute. T says, Chaotic, you also said that men today should stay away from inner city schools in the same breath. Yes, T, I did say that. I said that if the system is not going to change, and if it's not going to allow black men to take over, then absolutely. Why on earth would a few little black men going into this system won't change things? Black men need to be the administrators, need to be the counselors, need to be the teachers, need to be the coaches. That's the only way. And we need to have political influence, or the political spectrum should be entwined with the black male objective. Go ahead, guys. You get the floor. Hold on for a second. Flo the Raging Bull, what's up, man? What's up? You're on mute.
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead, man. You got a question? You didn't go yet, so go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna add in my experience inside the public school system.
Yeah, what's it like hell every day? Keep it real.
Man, I can say this. The only thing that got me by, I was an athlete and I did music.
Mm,
So that was kind of my past. I was a known athlete in the neighborhood, but I had people that didn't like me because I didn't sell drugs. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. People didn't like me because I didn't sell drugs. I wasn't a real N word or whatever you want to call it.
yeah.
So most, and on top
They're
of that,
probably jealous too because you're an athlete.
yeah, yeah, and but on top of that, most of the fights I had growing up came from me trying to stay out of fight. Not
Mm,
exaggerating. No exaggeration.
Man,
That's
it
what I
fight
want
you.
to add.
They will fight you for just simply being happy.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much, pretty much.
and now, Black Rick, what do you mean by that? They'll fight you for being happy in the schools, in the inner city schools. What are you talking about, Black Rick?
Why you smiling like that, Goofy? And then that's them not liking you.
Okay.
Right.
Guys, it's an open panel. You guys can work it out. Go ahead, Flo.
All right,
Yeah,
so
Black Rick is right. He's right. Like if you go to school in the hood or whatever, they do not. You cannot smile. If you smile, they think something wrong with you. Simple as that. Even the girls think something wrong with you if you smile. They think something. Black Rick is not exaggerating. He's spot on. Spot on.
yeah, but I have a question though, real quick. If we all understand, we can all be in agreement that saying that on one hand, we need to get more black men into these schools and these positions as administrators and counselors and principals and LA executives in the school system. Then why have the message saying black men stay out of the inner city schools? The message should be, if we know how to fix the problem, black men flood the inner city schools. We need to be in there. We need to be at every single level of the school to regain control of our neighborhoods, regain control of our society, regain control of our families, and we won't be what does teacher say? The next generation of black people will be the last generation of black people to do something. Maybe we can change that, but we can't change it if we just all, man, well, hey, forget it, throw our hands up. We can't check out.
You know what? I see the problem as for me living in New York and Brooklyn in one of the worst parts of town. I think that for me personally, I think school is way too long. I think school should be 5 hours for boys and for girls, and the other 3 hours, remaining hours, should be for programs to help them learn skills for when they become adults. So that way, when they graduate school, they have things to do that could make them profitable young black people. That's the problem. All we have is when you get off for after school, they got TV and you playing basketball. You can do that when you get home from school, from after school. They don't have anything to teach you to be nothing great. You don't know how to fix a pipe or to be a plumber, or you don't know how to fix anything because that they took that out of school a long time ago. And I'm 35. So I can imagine you gentlemen when they took those things out of your school too. And on top of that, one of the main things I say is that we got so many dangerous, neglectful young black women and young black men, because if you're just raised by one parent, and that is a woman, and I love my black woman. My mama's a black queen. I love my mama to life. But I think I learned more and I became a better adult living with my dad separately from my mom. I learned how you just can't be emotional. You got to take your time and think. Things in life just don't mean danger as losing your life. There's danger of you could be unemployed for the rest of life. You could go to jail. There's different types of danger in life. And I think most women live life on the easy mode, so they don't know how to properly raise a child with constructive learning. And I have to be hands-on with you. And also picking the best man available to you, not because he's fun sexually or he's fun because he don't you never know where he's gonna be at. So I say that to say this right real quick. I'm summing up real quick. If you have a man that's about nothing, DNA does trickle down. You have a higher chance of having a little girl, a little boy that's also raised on nothing as well.
You act just like your daddy.
Right.
You ain't never met your daddy.
I
But
swear.
she did.
Yeah, chaotic. Okay, chaotic. On top of what I already told you, I also coach basketball.
Yeah.
in the inner city. All of my kids are project kids, right?
Uh-oh.
I got so many players that's dead and in prison right now, and this is ever since 2010.
Mm.
So many play. I had one player, his own brother. I woke up Thanksgiving morning a few years ago. His younger brother shot him, stood over him and shot him 4 more times.
Why did his younger brother shoot him?
They they was high on some pills or something and got into a fight, and the brother lost the fight and went and shot him and got on Facebook and said, "I know what I did, but hey, it don't happen now." Kind of nonchalant. That's most of my players that I've coached over the years, and I got some players doing 40 years right now. And the one that the brother that got killed, he was the star player on that particular high school basketball team.
Hey, Flo, can you do
Down
me a
here, I
favor?
mean,
Can you come in and out? It's like your mic is like I can't really hear you. You want to come in and out real quick?
yeah. Let me.
Yep. I can barely hear him. Yeah. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah.
It's go ahead, Jack. My fault, bro. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No, you got it, man. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll tell you something. Yeah. So again, in my opinion, unless there's a big overhaul, I was offered to work. I was offered a teacher position in 2015 so at the charter school that my fraternity brother had, the administrative assistant, her father had a school of his own. And he calls her up one day and said he's looking for a teacher or whatever. And, this is when I had got fed up with teaching. So I told her to tell her dad, give me $250,000 per year. And I need a $50,000 signing bonus. Because my thing is that it's gotten to the point where, a lot of these schools, they need black men. So in my opinion, hey, if the asset now is becoming black men, hey, man, we need to pay us what we're worth. And if you're not going to do that, screw off. And that's what I really believe needs to happen as well. AK Harrison, what's up, man? You're in the car. I told you guys not to be in the car, but it's fine. AK Harrison, go ahead, sir. You got the floor.
Man, y'all need a little bit of objectivity, man.
Yeah, let me ask you a question, sir. When you went to inner city public schools, did you sell weed to your classmates? Keep it real.
I did not sell weed, sir. However, a few of my friends did, right?
Of course.
But here's the thing.
They sell weed in suburban schools.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Come on, man.
Yeah, but
y'all acting like
do they get into the amount of fights though about it?
Y'all acting like private schools don't have some of the same issues as the public school.
Go ahead. You got the floor, AK Harrison. Go ahead. What do you mean?
All right, let's cook, man. The only difference is
let me a quick question real quick. Are they fighting and getting into gang fights at Exeter? Is that what you're telling us?
Look at here. I'm telling you that
you know what Exeter is, right?
Hey, break it down for me. Treat me like I'm a C student. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, you went to inner city school, so you may as well been one. But no,
there you go.
Exeter is the top private school, boarding school in the country. So are they shooting dice and smoking weed in the bathroom at Exeter?
No. Only thing they're doing is coming up with a new recipe for meth in the science lab. That's all.
Hey, look, they're not doing that, and don't let them spit you. They're not shooting
how
dice.
do you know?
Are
you a student? Are you a student at that school, sir?
Guys, hold on a second. Let AK Harrison rock. Go ahead, AK Harrison. Rock it out.
Hey, all they're doing is coming up with the new recipe in the science lab. That's all, to cook up meth. That's all that they're doing. Mm-hmm. But go ahead.
You have facts and evidence to substantiate your claim.
But go ahead.
No, you got the floor, AK Harrison. Go ahead. You got the floor.
Look at here. It's known, man. I've seen it. You've seen it. You've heard the stories, man. Some of the best cocaine and endo weed are sold at private schools, man. Come on, man. Some of the best.
Break it out. Go ahead.
Hey, guess what? The inner city schools can't afford the good shit. They gotta go over there to the white side of town. My bad.
No, you good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
They gotta go. They gotta get that stuff from the private school, man. What are we talking about?
You got the floor.
Hey, I get it. I get it. There's a lot of gang violence, right? But check this out. Check this out. The football programs, that's good. The sports programs, great. Band, excellent. You know, choir, excellent, right? So we just can't rule all of that stuff out. I was actually a mentor for a black program. It was a prep program for black boys from the grades of 7th up to 12th, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what was the program? How to train them to be little ex-convicts?
It's actually called the Black Male College Explorers, right? And what it was is a prep program for at-risk black boys, actually. And they had a 100% graduation rate and sent everybody who started from 6th grade up to 12th grade. They actually went on to go to college.
What college did they go to, sir?
Usually at HBCU.
Which HBCU?
Well, the program started on the campus. Well,
no,
the program.
Sir, which A.K. Harrison? I heard you, but I'm asking you which HBCU was it?
Oh, okay. So my program was on Edward Waters College. However, they sent students to they sent students to FAMU. They sent students to South Carolina State. They sent students to Benedict College. They sent students to Florida Memorial. They sent students to Bethune-Cookman. So, like I said,
so
just HBCUs in general.
13th grade.
Hmm?
Nothing. Go ahead, sir. You got the floor. Sorry about that.
All right. So yeah, man. So I hear that y'all want to knock the public schools, and maybe y'all were the guys who got your lunch money taken during lunch. That's what it is. You wasn't in with the cool kids, so you got your lunch money taken. Hey, if they put you in the trash can, just say that.
It always comes back to this whenever you talk.
A.K. Harrison, you know what? I'm glad that you called in, and I'm glad that you said that, because what you just said, sir, even though that didn't happen to me, if you are saying that it was your experience, that's just indicative of the chaos that ensues in the inner city public schools. Is that what you guys did at your inner city public school? You put other human beings in a trash can?
I've seen some trash. I've seen all type of behavior happen at both a private school.
Wait a minute. Hold on for a second. A.K. Harrison, wait a minute. If what you're saying is true, why is it that everybody, when they somehow get money and scholarships, they all of a sudden want to go to the suburban or private schools where this quote unquote same thing happens? Then they might as well just stay at their school and get put in the trash cans. Yes,
it's called balance. CT.
Hey man, how y'all go?
This guy's out of his mind. Get him, calm him down. He's out of his mind.
A.K. Harrison, go ahead, sir. Go ahead, talk.
Hey, look, see, and that's the thing, man. I can come and speak with some objectivity, man. Sometimes these panels, they get so far to the left and they start talking.
Sir, and that's why I'm asking you to continue to speak. You have the floor. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. So we just need a little bit of objectivity, man. Like I said, public schools get a lot of bad rep. Don't get me wrong. Here's the real problem with public schools. They're underfunded. They're underfunded, right? And you have teachers who are only there for a paycheck, right? They don't really have a passion to teach. Before I used to drive trucks, I used to be a school teacher, right? And you really have to be able to connect with the students on a emotional level, on a personal level.
No, sir, real fast, A.K. Harrison. Were you a school teacher, or were you like a dude who came in and volunteered for like a period or two?
No. Here's the thing. School teachers don't get paid.
Were you licensed, sir, to teach?
School, hey, I was.
Sounds like he's a truck driver to me.
Were you licensed
to
teach? Yes or no?
Okay, so the school. So listen to me. Listen to me.
Or were you just a Negro coming in, passing out chocolate milk to the kids?
So if you're saying that I came there to babysit, nah, I have other things to do with my time. Like I said, I was a teacher, right?
Okay, I'm asking you, sir, what kind of teacher were you, sir?
So I taught middle school. Listen to me. I taught middle school social studies, right? I taught civics. I taught U.S. history. I also taught world history for 6th grade, right? Like I said, now what these students lacking is teachers who actually care, because most teachers who come in, they only come in for a paycheck, right? And the teachers they're underpaid, man. Like, the reason why I'm not teaching now because I was only getting paid $18 an hour.
Now, people in the chat are saying you were a substitute teacher. Is that true?
No. Okay. Hey, I only got paid $18 an hour. I actually have a college degree from a HBCU. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I make $300,000 driving a truck, though.
Sir,
I make $300,000 a year driving a truck, though.
Which HBCU? You don't have to prove yourself. Which HBCU was it?
I went to Edward Waters College once again. Like I said, it's an HBCU, in Florida, right?
I didn't hear what you said. Okay, can I ask you a question, sir? Okay, thank you. Okay, there we go. Scott. Okay. Okay.
But like I said, the only problem is with public schools is that you need teachers, you need better teachers, and you need more funding, man. You know, that's all it is.
What if I were to tell you where I teach at or taught at? They built high schools, junior high schools, state of the art. It seems like the public schools got way more funding.
It's because they did.
No, let
you celebrate the thing you decry at the same time, which is weird. How you gonna talk about putting the kids in the trash can as a good thing? Like, that's a plus for schools. We're telling you that's the thing that is making them horrible. That is not how people should treat one another. And to celebrate it is asinine. It's asinine. And look, I'm not even against you. I'm not even against you in most things that you say. You have a point in all of them. One, you don't have to prove yourself. We believe you. It's cool. Just if you're a social studies teacher, say you a social studies teacher. There's no reason to have to ask the same question 15 times to get an answer. It's simple. Right. I taught social studies in middle school. The end. Man, you know about schools then. Your opinion is valid. Then state it. That's cool. The other thing I was going to tell you that you don't have to, this man named the best private school in the country. And you were about to act like, Kennedy. We got Kennedy High down the street. They can go, they heads up with them. I put that debate team up against theirs. Any dead? Like, no, fam. He's giving you a loaded question. He's talking about dice. Funny. He's giving you loaded dice to shoot with. He's playing you. Of course, the best school does not have that. No, it doesn't. And nobody's shooting dice in the bathroom there. No, they not. You know where they shooting dice at? In their room. Why would I shoot dice in the bath? My room is right up here. My parents aren't here. That's where they doing it. Yeah. And I don't know if they're cooking meth up there or not. I don't know if we're getting Walter Whites out there. Maybe not. Who knows? Who cares? We have problems in our schools that you are acting like we don't need to address. Money and teachers that care. Hold on, I'll let you talk for a long time. I'm about to wrap it up. I promise you ain't gonna be long. Money and teachers that care ain't the thing. The teachers started teaching because they care. Everybody that starts to teach knows that teaching don't pay any damn money. So obviously teaching don't pay you no money. Everybody get on here and tell you that teachers don't pay any money, especially in a public school, in any city school. So
they do it just to get a paycheck, bro.
No, they don't. No, they don't, man.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you. Here's the thing. Look.
If you were so passionate as a teacher, you would still be teaching.
Wait a minute.
You would be putting your money where your mouth is.
Hey, guess what? Guess what? I never said that I was passionate as a teacher. Here's the thing.
So you were doing it for the money then?
Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Many students who go into these inner city schools, right? The teachers, right? You can get your student loans erased when you teach in an inner city school.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Facts.
Hey, look at that. As soon as I graduate with my $100,000 of debt, I'm going to an inner city school just to babysit. I don't care what your kid do, right? And at the end of my 5-year contract, guess what? No more debt, and I'm out of here.
Yep.
That's the story.
Should the teacher care more? Should the teacher care more than the parent? I mean, do you have to really care about your job to do your job? If you're a computer programmer, do you absolutely positively have to love computer programming? Or can I just be an adequate computer programmer? If I have an aptitude for math and explaining things, maybe I should go into teaching, because that sounds like some stuff that I'd be pretty good at. Not that I particularly care about it, but hey, I'm really good at it, and I will give it all my effort. I will give the best effort forth to teach little Johnny what 1 + 1 will result in. But if Johnny's mom doesn't help Johnny with the homework, and he doesn't know it, and I have 28 other Johnnies, I can't focus just on that one. So somebody's gonna get left behind, somebody's gonna fail, and you're gonna act as though that teacher doesn't care about that kid. No, this teacher is just a teacher, fam. You are not perfect at your job. Why are you expecting them to be perfect at theirs? You act like you never had a speeding ticket?
Wait a minute.
Talking to low
I think another issue is
guys, hold on for 1 second. Now, AK Nation, I'm not familiar with this, but there is some pushback in the chat. People are saying that the HBCU you went to, Edward Waters, is not accredited. Is that true?
Just Google it. All you have to do is Google it. Just Google it.
It's not. Then if he's saying that, anyone who's saying let's Google it like he's some smart
just Google it.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's not accredited.
Just Google. Hey,
yeah.
What thing about it? What thing about it?
It's not. It's not.
What's wrong with y'all, man?
I got something for 1 second. Sean D with the $10 super chat. He said, hold on for a second. He said, as a current teacher with 3 degrees, I'm paid $75,000 and I care. We have a $2.3 billion budget, beautiful schools. The issue for most is student accountability. Parents don't care, wealthy or not. Guys, what say you about this super chat? Go ahead, guys.
All facts.
Okay.
Been saying that all day.
I was going to say this, right? I think Jack said the same thing. I said the same thing. Kiara said the same thing as well. We need a better parenting at home for the kids. You just can't get home. Did you do your homework after school today? Yes, no. They don't check the homework. They don't check none of it. They don't try to read with their kids. They don't try to study with their kids. But they will watch cartoons with their kids. They will go to Western matches with their kids. You're giving kids things that they basically don't even deserve to get, as for kids doing the right thing. I don't know how y'all was raised, but in my mama's house, I was getting the bare necessities. So I showed that I had good grades in school. I was paying attention. I was being respectable. If I wasn't being those things, I would get the bare necessity. Run down shoes, run down clothes. My clothes were good, but they wasn't like I was the flyest dude in school. But the better my grades got, the better my clothes started to look.
Can I say this real quick?
Right, and your parents probably valued an education. They understood the strength and the value of a good education that a lot of these current parents.
Black Rick, can you do me a favor real quick? I want to get back to the super chat, but Black Rick, when you went to inner city public schools, how was first? Like, what were the sounds? If you were to walk into first period any class, what were the sounds you heard when you walked into the class? Chaos,
cursing, students cussing out the teachers, throwing trash cans at the teachers, fights breaking out, kids playing pencil break. I think my main issue whenever we try to have these types of discussions is there's always one black guy that will stand up and say, well, those white schools do the same thing. And yes, they do. The school that my wife graduated from, the homecoming king, was a meth addict. Yeah, but In comparison, if you took everyone from her graduating class and matched them to any one of our graduating classes, you will see that most of the kids who went to the private schools have gone on to do something STEM related and are doing 10 times as better than anyone from the inner city. And that is because the parent care and the culture is different. You're up here bragging and showing happiness about someone being tossed in a trash can or brutally beat up. Like, y'all must have been one of those kids. Like, yeah, dude. And if that ever happened to my kid, man, I'm going to tell you, you're not going to want that smoke. And I'm not going to let it happen because they're not going to public school.
And the funny thing is that AK Nation, again, I never was bullied growing up.
Okay.
But AK Nation, it's funny that a man of your age resorts back to those types of statements. You got bullied. You got put in the trash can.
They don't grow up. They don't grow up. Man. That's why you're driving trucks now.
That is the difference between the Jewish community and.
Do you have a problem with truck drivers, sir?
Who, me?
Do you have a problem with truck drivers?
Sir,
the guy, the Bart-Simpson emoji. Do you have a problem with truck?
I'm just trying to trigger. Nah, man, I'm just trying to trigger you. It worked. I'm sorry, my bad.
Guys.
Congress screwed y'all.
Guys.
I'm with y'all.
I always give props to the truck drivers. I always do on this channel and my other channel.
Yeah, they're the backbone of America. I was just trying to trigger it.
Here goes the thing, though, AK, sir.
Go for it.
45-year-old Jewish men aren't talking about somebody used to get thrown into a trash can in high school or junior high school. They're not. 45-year-old Japanese men aren't. I would assume they're not doing that either. I always hear that with older black people. You should be ashamed of yourself, sir, for bringing that up, sir.
It's
a free country. You can say whatever you want to say, but listen to that. You're how old are you? 40-something? You're in your 40s, right?
Here it is. Right. I just cannot allow you guys to sit up here on this.
Sir, I'm talking.
No one is denying that this stuff doesn't happen in upper class schools. All we're saying is that it's more prevalent in inner city black schools.
No, AK Harrison.
Go ahead.
You're in your 40s, correct?
I'm in my 40s, sir.
Listen to what you just asked everybody. Y'all got beat up in high school. Y'all got thrown in trash cans. Can you imagine a 47-year-old Japanese man saying it?
All the things I said, those the only two things that you held on to. That means that you are triggered. Right now, look, I get it. I get it. CT.
Yeah. Okay.
CT. Go ahead, CT. I get it, man. I get it. Some people, maybe some of your friends have been bullied in public schools. But here's the thing.
That's why you're a truck driver. You're not civilized to be with the rest of us, man. You just give me my Amazon package on time.
Hey,
wow.
Hey.
Are we gonna have a civilized conversation, or are we gonna resort to insult?
He's trolling.
Hey, thank you. Hey, thank you, sir.
That's why you truckers don't have unions now, man. See, instead of like talking about throwing people in trash cans, you need to be talking about the lack of trucking unions in this damn country and how they don't even prioritize you. I'm not gonna go into that.
Anybody else from the broach what Sean D said? His super chat. Go ahead, guys. So Sean D said, as a current teacher with 3 degrees, I'm paid $75,000 and I care. We have a $2.3 billion budget, beautiful schools. The issue is for most student accountability. Parents don't care wealthy or not. AK Harrison, you want to broach this super chat?
I will say that yes, you need parent accountability. When I was teaching, a big problem that I saw is single parent households, mostly black women, right? And when I used to do, no lie, here's the story. Here's story time, guys. I went to visit one of my students. She lived in the projects, right? And it was a pretty serious visit at the time. And I got over there, and the mom was like, "Good to see you, Mr. Harrison. Could you help me move this couch?" Like, whoa, lady. Come over here to move this couch. She said, "Yeah, I got a friend coming over here and he's going to help you move the couch out here to the curb." I said, "Well, God damn." All right. So I helped her move the couch, right? get outside. We're talking, and she goes behind the building, and she comes back, and she said, "Hey, Mr. Harrison, you want this?" And it's a bag of cocaine. It's a bag of cocaine, man. So this is
All he could bring.
so. Here it is, a little girl, one of my students in the home. She's doing her homework, and I'm outside with the mom, and she's holding a 8 ball of cocaine. Right?
And where does
These
this
are the
happen
type
at,
of.
sir?
Okay, that's fine, but that's not happening in every public school. I didn't have it in my public school.
I'm just
So
talking about the school. I'm just talking about.
no, but the reason why you the reason why he said earlier that we painting the worst things he said because you keep saying the worst things over and over. Like every
No,
example
wait
you
a
give
minute.
is
No,
worse and worse and
whoa,
worse.
wait a minute, guys, wait a minute. I totally forgot. Teaching is a salary job. And I do remember AK said he got paid 18 an hour.
18 an hour.
Hey,
18 an hour.
Okay.
Hey,
AK Harrison.
I got paid 18 an hour. Right?
Go ahead.
He's good at math. He just broke it down, like divided the weeks, and then that's what he did.
Oh yeah.
That's what he did.
AK Harrison, let me ask you a question. Would you send your kids to inner city public schools, sir?
I have sent my kids to inner city schools, and all
Are they
of my
alive?
kids, all of my kids have left public school on some type of scholarship, whether it was a band scholarship or an academic scholarship as well.
Awesome.
I'll be back.
Look at
Oh,
you, man.
I'll be back. My phone's dying. I'll be back.
Absolutely, man.
So it's all about,
That's indicative of them having a father that was active.
and at the same time, and at the same time, I have girls too. So that makes a big difference. Girls kind of they outperform boys in the classroom.
Oh yeah, because that goes back to what I was saying earlier. They are prioritized, and the education system is pushed on them. But when it comes to young black men, it's not. They don't want to work for anybody.
I agree.
And they are taught to be tough, go out there and hustle and get their own thing.
But why do you think that is, though, Rick? What do you think? Why do you think that?
I could sum it up in one word.
That's
2
an
words.
easy question to answer.
3 words. The Democratic Party.
Guys, give me a second. Guys, True, your mic is messed up. Hold on for a second. Omega Dreads wants me to drop AK Harrison. Yes, AK Harrison can be dropped if you throw the Lapeef Network just $100. I'm gonna auction him off for $100.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, guys. You got
Hey, the one thing that I love about CT, man, he is a capitalist through and through. You can appreciate this Nigerian brother.
It's like $150.
Yeah, $100.
He is good at what he does, man. For real.
D-Town, what's up, man? How you doing? Thank you so much. AK. D-Town, what's up, man?
Yeah.
D-Town.
Hold on. Let me make sure I'm tripping.
Let me make sure you're tripping.
Oh no. Okay, y'all can hear me. Everybody good. You can hear me? What's up, chaotic man? Everybody good, man.
It's good.
Are you a product of the inner city public schools, sir?
Oh yeah. I'm a product of it.
I'm sorry, what?
I said I'm a product of it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Right. Well, what I was gonna say, I'm a young man, but what I was gonna say is I don't really feel like school is really made for men in the first place.
Go ahead.
When we go back to the Bible and things like that, he say, men gonna find their riches by using their hands. You get what I'm saying? Well, as far as a man writing down on some paper and stuff like that, that ain't what men are here to do. You get what I'm saying? Men are here to build and do things like that. So I feel like when they took out, the mechanic and the carpeting and all that, you get what I'm saying? That's when the downfall of the inner city blacks and stuff like that start going down. You get what I'm saying? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, you sound good. Go ahead, sir.
You say again?
You mean when they got rid of like all the vocational stuff, like carpentry, plumbing, and
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I
So
I
now,
agree with him.
because now you force me, because just came from a job. I used to work for the juvenile system, so I see the worst of the worst, or I see the ones that they call or they
I pray
claim
for you
as
every
the
night,
worst of
brother.
the worst. You get what I'm saying? But when it come
What?
down to it, people, let me just say this real fast. When it really come down to it, it's really these kids' parents that ain't here for them, bro.
Yeah,
Real life, bro.
yeah,
They
It's
mamas,
it's
man.
it's it's the kids' parents, and
yeah,
then just like you say, I don't know where the daddies be because I got two daughters and I ain't hearing it. I'm in their lives. That's just what it is. But right
yeah.
now, is when you talk to them, it's what happened, little bro? And my mama said she can't deal with me, so she dropped me off at the jail. So your mama dropped you off to a jail? Like you can't go nowhere. She had to, like, you get what I'm saying? You got young girls getting prostituted and they getting prostituted by their mamas, bro. Like I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's the parents.
OnlyFans. It's OnlyFans.
I
I've seen
I
mothers promote OnlyFans to their
bro,
daughters.
I told my wife, I said, bro, the when it come down to these kids getting like in trouble and things like that, I truly and truly feel like the mother, I mean the parent of that child need to face time too. You get what I'm saying?
I feel
Because
like
some
somebody.
Yeah.
I feel like somebody should tell that child's mother that that's not how jail works.
right, but
You
but
can't
it's
just
like
you can't just drop somebody off at shit. What the
that's
heck?
what I'm saying. I'm like, and look, and then check it out, and then check it out. It's a little dude. He just like I said, what happened? But when he in jail, bro, we give him composition books. Little writing books you can write or whatever. Bro, he will be in jail for probably what, a week. That whole composition book is wrote back and forth. He writing raps. He got a gift. You get what I'm saying? But a lot of these kids just don't have parents, bro. These parents are sorry out here, fam. Like real talk, bro. And it's just ridiculous. It's just now. It's not a lot of them, but the ones that you see going through it, or you see the kids that can't get it or can't get it right, and things like that. 9 times out of 10, bro, they going through it when they go home, fam. I'm
Mm.
telling y'all, bro. That's a
Give me,
fact, man. That's just a
thank you.
fact, bro.
D-Town, give me 1 second. I want you to continue real
Yes,
quick.
sir. Go ahead.
Guys,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I will be ending at 6:15. I do have a show on my own channel, but however, if you are enjoying the conversation, I will stay on for 1 more hour if someone in the chat throws the Lapeef Network $250 super chat. Guys, this is entertainment for all you, and AK Harrison, who supposedly makes $300,000 a year. $250 should be nothing to him. Go ahead,
Hey, hey.
Go ahead, D-Town.
Y'all boys doing a whole lot of pan passing, man, these days, man.
Go ahead, D-Town. You got the
hey,
floor.
hey, but check this out though. Dude is absolutely right. I agree with him. Like when they took the vocational trades out the school, that definitely changed everything. When I was a teacher though, right, what I would do with my own money, right, I would actually purchase supplies and try to create some.
Hey, man, I'm about to get this lion dude up out of here,
Hey,
man.
hey,
Hey,
It's about
I did, man. I did. I would go into my pocket, right, and I would.
Now, people in the chat said you're a paraprofessional. Is that true?
Hey, but hey,
a
you
humble
gotta let the
trucker
people
now,
in the
man.
chat do the chat stuff. But
Go ahead.
here's
Go
the
ahead.
thing too, right?
Go ahead.
But check this out. Right? There was a I actually went to the Walmart and purchased a few rakes, right? And in my class, right, for civics, and the lesson was on community service, we're going to get out here and we're going to go ahead and practice some community service with these rakes, right? Now, other classrooms were like, oh, well, especially the white teachers, oh, Mr. Harrison, are you doing that to punish your students? No, because guess what? Landscaping pays $100,000 a year too.
Facts.
Yeah, that's true.
Facts.
Huh?
hey,
True.
Come on, man. So a lot of these
all of that's true. All of that's true. But why y'all keep Every 5 seconds, somebody keeps talking about they took vocations out of high school. They took vocations out of school. Okay, they did. Move to a different field. You can look. Is the world becoming more? Is the world becoming more? Hold on. Is the world becoming more or less technologically advanced?
It is, sir. But
you don't have to just till the earth with your hands to make things happen. You can learn how to do.
But the thing is, bro. Let me have a little pushback. Let me have a little pushback.
Come on, y'all. One mic.
Stop trying to push plumbing all the time. So I don't have to be a plumber all the time. Somebody could be a scientist. Push that.
But the thing is, you're not getting the gist of what I'm just saying, fam. You talking about push of scientists and things like that. Yeah, that's cool, bro. That is, fam. But that's the same way of saying that you want to be a NBA player or NFL player. No, bro. This kid is not a scientist, bro. No, this kid is not a scientist. You're gonna let me finish.
May I speak, please? May I speak, please?
Go ahead, bro.
Brother, I get where you're coming from. But you know damn well them niggas can't comprehend that type of shit.
Come on, nigga. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Take it apart. He ain't gonna know how to fix that.
Listen.
Come on, fam. But you trying to tell me this kid not gonna be interested in something that will help him out in the real world and make him some money? Come on,
you sound like a fool. Hold it down, y'all. Hold it down. The difference between our neighborhoods and other neighborhoods, like as far as anything else, like Caucasian, Indian, Chinese, they teach these kids these things daily. So when they do, they do know how to balance this, but they do know how to do certain things outside of doing things with your hands. It looks bad when as a black man, well, you could say I could play ball. I know how to play football. I know how to beat somebody. I know how to sell drugs. And this looks bad when all you could do is manual labor. We should be trying to get our kids out of this shit.
They can barely manage their finances, man. Look at the average basketball player and how many of them go broke, man. It's like rocket science.
They used to go broke. They don't go broke as often as they used to because they make a lot more money today than they made 20 years ago. That's common sense.
So you telling me they're not white construction workers and things like that's owners of construction companies and stuff like that?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. Nobody's saying. I'm not saying that. I don't know what the Black Rick talking about down there. That's him. He on his own pimp. He got his own window. That's not my window. My window don't want to say Jacques. I am saying that you don't have to just push plumbing and carpentry and welding.
Let me ask you this question. Okay.
Anyway,
I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question. Go ahead. I'm gonna ask you a question. Go ahead,
man. One mic, y'all. One mic. We gonna be all grown men here. We're not women. One mic.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna ask you a question after you get speaking.
Hey guys, we're gonna have to wrap it up. Like 10 more minutes. How about this, guys? As usual with black panels, it gets out of order. Any last words?
He say as usual. This dude chaotic, boy. I love him, boy.
I can't handle it. I mean, yeah. Any last words, guys? Jacques, you want to go first? You got a nice setup too, by the way, Jacques.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. I'll just say this. We don't have to just push in one direction. The world is multifaceted. Take advantage of everything at your doorstep. Don't put yourself in a box to just say, well, I'm going to go swing a hammer. That's fine if you want to do that. I'm not knocking that trade. I'm not knocking any of the trades. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, as a people, we have to adapt. We're saying that the vocational stuff is left out of the schools. It's out. But you know what ain't been out? Math. Been there the whole time. Reading. Whole time. Science. Every day. They got it. Push those things. Push what you have at your advantage or at your opportunity. Push what you got and use that and capitalize on that. And I'm not going to sit here and put us in a box and say that those kids can't do it, because I know they can. But what has to happen is we, the parents, have to make it happen. I make it happen in my house. I don't know what anybody else doing theirs. That's up to y'all.
Kids ain't going to public schools.
My kid only have one in. The next one is going in the next school year. They're going to public school. The one is in public school, and they will remain. But I make sure I put them in a good public school, and I make sure I am active and I am a participant in my child's education. And I don't see how we fail if we all do that. But I'll pass it.
Okay, I'll say this, right? I'm gonna be short and sweet. The problem is with everybody else is what we have is that they start their other kids with learning programs in the home earlier. There's other class of people that teaching their kids encyclopedia to read and focus on science and math and arithmetic earlier. We letting the school do it here. I'm at work all day. The teacher figured this out with my child. When my child doesn't focus, because you can't only focus on one area. You need to be focusing at all facets of your life. So you focus in school, you focus when you get home with me and your mama. So that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it as that. This is a great panel, by the way. Very entertaining. I mess with y'all.
Thank you very much. AK Harrison, go ahead, sir. You got the floor.
All right. Some of the same issues that public schools have, they're happening right there in private schools too. Here's the main difference. Here's the main difference, though. I think that the parents' involvement has a bigger role, right? So if we could get, the parents more involved with the kids in the inner city schools, I believe we'll have a greater outcome. Nice, short, and sweet, right?
Thank you so much, AK Harrison. D-Town conversation. Any last words, sir? Go ahead.
Just bring the father back to the household, man. Make sure y'all stay down. Just make sure you stay down. If you gotta be there, you gotta be there. Just bring that father back in. Everything gets to work out.
Absolutely. Flo, any last words, sir?
No, I just want to thank you for having me on the panel. That's it.
Okay. Black Rick, any last words, my good sir?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Black culture is corrupted. And until we fix that, nothing will change that. To speak to the young man who was talking about teach them something else, you have to start somewhere. Most inner city blacks don't even know how that microphone in front of your face works. Most of them don't even understand the complexity of binary code. In the words of the trucker over there, Google binary coding, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And I do agree with starting it at home. That's what I do with my son. We have a lot of like sensory toys and toys that show basic programming and coding and stuff. But it does have to be the parents. But it's got to start with the parents. They got to hold them accountable. But the problem is that the parents are just as ignorant as the kids. So.
Thank you so much, sir. Guys, please send over the show ending super chats, guys. Please support the show by sending over super chats. Supposedly, you guys make $300,000 a year, so all you gotta do, you pay the white. You go to the Arab and you pay him when you go into his gas stations. When you go into Popeyes and McDonald's, that's the white man's restaurants. Pay show support by donating to the Lapeef Network. You don't mind when the white man.
You're not a white man though.
Are you frying chicken, sir?
Sir.
We pay for the white
man.
man.
Are you selling chicken dinners, sir?
Sir, okay, you blacks pay for movies and all types of entertainment. You blacks pay for Netflix, pay for Lapeef Network. Hold on for a second. Modern Renaissance man, thank you so much for coming, sir. We are going to end the show, but any final words, sir? You can take up. You got like 10 minutes if you want.
Yeah, I've been listening for quite a while, and I agree with most of what everybody is saying here, that it starts at home. One of the things that I don't understand what some parents don't take into consideration, especially let's be honest, if you graduated high school as a parent at least, and you got kids that are coming up in grade school, I don't understand why we're not pushed to get involved in the kids' curricula period. So, for example, it's not to say anything about me, but I made my sons them do homework that they didn't have. They did dad's work. So I don't care what the teacher sent them home with. I made them do more than what the school required them to do. So one of the things that we do is this thing that I say all the time, and it's a quote, and I say all the time, it's don't place your limits on me based off of what you are incapable of achieving. So what I say that for is that we give these limitations on, okay, a child can start kindergarten when they're this age. Why? Because they're not ready. Well, who said that? Well, this kid is ready to go on to this position right here when they're they're ready to drive when they're 16. Who said that? I was driving since I was 12 years old. So what I'm saying that for is that one of the best things parents can do is more than what the school is giving them. Oh, I got homework. Okay, now this is what daddy's going to have you do too. You know, make them better. Make them better than the current class that they're in right now. You can sit there and test your kids higher. Give me some. If your kid is in the first grade, I'm going to give them some second grade work to do to see if they can smash that out. If not, you as a parent should definitely be able to teach them second grade curricula if you graduated from high school. You see what I'm saying? Don't limit them on anything like that, man. So I don't rely on the schools to educate my kid. I rely on them to just to do the basic minimum of what they should be doing. But as far as education go, as far as being a one day being an operating law-abiding citizen, that all falls on me, and that's my job to do that. Although I may have a full-time job, when I get home, yeah, they get a little break to do here and there, little things that kids usually do. But other than that, they're going to be hitting the studies. I'm raising some people to be some adults. I'm not raising no kids to remain kids, nor am I going to rely on the school system to do that. So that's my take on that.
Thank you so much. KGY with the $10 super chat says, great show, CT. Respect the hustle. Thank you so much, KGY, for the $10 super chat. I also want to put out that Chaotic Truth Live said black people don't believe Santa is real unless he's black. I mean, if he's black.
Hey, no, man, hold on, I gotta speak on that, man. We knew in Chicago, we knew Santa wasn't real, man. We like Santa ain't coming to no hood. They're gonna take his sleigh and everything, gonna put it on some cinder blocks.
Yeah. Well, guys,
oh man, you're wrong for that.
Guys, thank you so much, guys, for coming. I will be doing a show tonight about the ancient Egyptians. Kevin Hart said that they were black while he was in Egypt. He's getting a lot of backlash for that. This has been a great show. Thank you guys that were in the chat. Thank you guys for all the super chats. Thank you guys for coming to the panel. Just like typical Negroes, AK did not listen to what I said. Neither did Black Rick. Neither did D-Town or Flo. I said I would like the cameras to be on, but you guys didn't do it. But I just it is what it is.
Well, we're back. What do you expect?
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for coming. Jacques, Wolf,
niggas
AK,
always breaking the law, bro.
Yeah, the Black Rick, D-Town, Flo. Thank you guys so much.
Hey, forgive me. I went to public school.
Yeah, no problem. We already know. Thank you guys so much, man. These super chats were incredible. Again, KGY, Generational Love, John the Baptist, Omega Green, Sean D. Thank you so much, man. You guys are always supporting the channel. I told you that well, come up on the channel then, Salam, if you got so much to say. Come up on the panel. I got like 3 more minutes. I bet you won't come up then. But anyway, thank you guys so much. This is Chaos with Chaotic. And I will wait 1 more minute to see if Salam will come up on the panel. Since I'm full of shit, right? Come up on the panel. Let me see. JQ says Kemet means dark, CT. Yes, I do know that. Yes, I am an African Studies major. And I do know that. And I do know that the ancient Egyptians were indeed black. They look, I've seen statues at art museums that they have that look like me, just with a headdress on, like with the crown. I don't know what they call it. But yeah, I mean, it's evident that the Egyptians were black. Absolutely. Let me see. Well, the ancient Egyptians were black. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to wait a couple more minutes for Salam. Oh, what's up? Ash with the $2 super chat says, love you, CT. Thank you so much, Ash. Love you too, man. Guys, thank you so much, man. Let me see here. Okay. I'm going to wait 1 or 2 more minutes for 6:15 for Salam to come up on the panel. Salam, I'm waiting. I'm going to wait for you, sir. Since you got so much to say in the chat, I'll wait. But I don't think you're going to come up here. You see? I'll let you talk, but I don't think you will. What am I full of shit about? What don't you like that I said? Did I hurt your feelings about anything that I said? I told you earlier to get your napkins, get your little tampons, whatever, and go cry somewhere. Marcus said Salam is scared. Yeah, he's scared. He got 1 more minute, then I'm out of here. But he ain't gonna cam up though. What's up, John the Baptist with the $5 super sticker? Thank you so much, man. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. The messenger said I was floored when I learned that Africa was named after a white man. I never knew that. I'm gonna wait one more minute. It's not 6:15 just yet. I'm gonna wait for Salam to cam up, but I bet he won't do it because you keep on saying things about me in the chat. You're gonna write a comment. Just cam up. You ain't even gotta get on camera. You can just come on with your little avatar. I don't think you're gonna do it. I'm gonna wait. I'll wait for you. Ain't no debate. You just give your opinion. Okay, it's closing in on. Okay, it's almost 6:15. I don't think he's gonna cam up. I don't think he's gonna call in. Marcus says, "Call up, Salam." He's not gonna call in, man. John the Baptist was that another $5 one? I don't think that's another $5 one. Is it? Oh no, it's the same one. Well, Salam did not call in. Typical woke person. Let me see. T says kids today aren't even getting the basics. Many that come into my program can't even read or write. Whose fault is that? It's the parents' fault. They're not teaching the kids at home. They rely on the schools to teach them. They rely on the schools, and you got to be a proactive parent, if you ask me. Let's see. I'm gonna wait a little bit more for Salam, but I don't know where he's at. He ain't coming up, KGY. Guys, I'm out of here. Guys, have a good one. Peace.